And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another week, another edition of the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit, the playoffs day number 2. I'm of course SI VIP with you. I'm joined by these amazing players, by the huge chat, and by my plushies, kind of as well. Welcome one and all. It has been an intense weekend of StarCraft. I went back to back broadcasts here on the CranKy Ducklings with the main Mayhem, with the Sparkling Tuna Cup, with the Thermal 2-2 circuit, and also with the Brazilian circuit as well. It's been intense. There's been a lot of StarCraft. And what I will say, just to be transparent, is that this tournament was taking place around 3 hours ago. Unfortunately, I did sleep in a little bit. I was going to jump in like halfway through, but I ended up jumping in towards the tail end instead. So I do apologize for that. But we're here nonetheless to continue to actually bring you Day two. Now, for those that are curious, the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit, this is an event that has been running for the past month. It's been a long time coming, with Group Stage 1, Group Stage 2, and now the playoffs as well. And this is all the online portion of the tournament to confirm who makes it to the offline venue. The offline event is going to be taking place in June, and it'll involve the top 4 players, I believe the top 4 are going to be taking place, or they're going to be taking part in this tournament. And again, this is all working our way through to determine the top players of Brazil, so they can advance on, so they can compete. They can all take place. They can all take place in Sao Paulo. So exciting times to come. And we're here to find out. We're jumping on into our first series. Going to be Kamikaze versus Victor Bansimer. That is going to be our first best of 3 of the broadcast. Let's go. Let us go. We do have, I believe, 2 best of 5s and 4 best of 3s available to us here today. So it's going to be an intense broadcast. A lot of matches, a lot of StarCraft. We are jumping into our initial TVP. Are going to be jumping in. Again, this is going to be best of 3. This is from the lower bracket. This is an elimination match to determine which of these players is going to be knocked out of said event. But here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have... the bottom left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Host Gaming. It is Victor Bansimer. And one of these days, I'll line up the first intro. One of these days. Also, shout out to Ice Scar for, of course, observing. Big shout out. Oh, there it is. Beautiful. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran Flakes, and he's gaming. It is Kamikaze. Ranked number 4 in the standings. Here we go. We have our TVP, and Victor already opening up with some cheese. The probe gets sent across the map. There's a very brief history between these two players. It looks like a 2-0 over Victor back in the Code Jazz Cup number 15 back last year. But you can see on the minimap, Victor moves out with the probe. He does set up for a proxy. It looks like a proxy Stargate setup here. This would be the ideal position for something like a Stargate. Let's go. So we'll see if he does commit. We'll see if he does double down. And there it is. The pylon is going to be thrown down here. Black Bats at the same time, probes sipping into said main base. Again, this does feel like a prime location for a Stargate, but we'll keep an eye on Victor to see if he does do something else cheeky behind this. As we have our double gas open out of Kamikaze, very safe play, going for a faster factory. You see Victor even going for the pylon block here to disrupt. And we're still waiting for our takeover. Yeah, there it is. It is going to be the Stargate. So, as you mentioned, everything so far makes sense. With this proxy Stargate location, this should just be proxy Oracle to get economic damage in the main base and to wreak havoc. In the past, we would assume maybe proxy Voider or proxy Tempest. A shield battery is on the way, but I believe that is back at home. I believe that's back at home in the mineral line to make sure that Victor is safe against Reaper Harass. Reaver does poke out, does recognize something is wrong. We have the safety bunker on the way. CranKy overreacting here. He's getting ready for a proxy robot. He's getting ready for one base all in. But Victor should be expanding with this as he gets found out. And CranKy, he does come across the proxy. Shield batteries on the way. Okay. With shield batteries here as a part of the outpost, this does feel like potentially even proxy void ray. Yeah, proxy void ray is in production. But to make this work, you do need to set up those shield batteries. So this is that much more committed. And shield battery is denied. Void ray is on the way. This is very out of fashion, very out of favor. Bearing in mind that this build was nerfed many years ago. many years ago. And does pop up every now and then. I mean, specifically on maps like Neo Violet Square, like where you can get away with a proxy in the bases. As Warder is being shut down, we have Vikings, we have Cyclones, Reapers that get across the map as well, and Victory is just getting torn apart here. Yeah, he cannot keep up. Not like this, Pappy, not like this. Ugh. Yeah, as we see workers going down, boys are going to be pulled here. I mean, Victory is going to try to hold on, try to defend, but there's nothing back at home. There's going to be an adept soon. That'll help. There we go. Second adept is on the way. But remember, he's stuck on one base. And the CranKy is still just building up more Vikings and more Cyclones. It's looking very comfortable, very secure. There we go. Does move in. The lock-on is brutal, and he has to get the hell out of here. Oh no! Yeah, the lock confirms to be too much. Without the first Void Ray does full, there's one Void Ray left. And so far, just a really good response here by CranKy. Just Cyclones, Vikings, all things anti-air. Is looking very comfortable here. And from here, he can break out. He can break out, he can just collapse on top of the proxy, and there's nothing else behind this. We can see Victor is expanding back at home, but it's such a late expansion. It is so late. Void Ray goes down. Oh, we got more lock-ons. And there's a scan and a recall. Will not save this. Yeah, recall's not going to be done in time. And that's the death of the proxy, death of the Void Race as well. Again, cheeky build here by Victor. It's very out of meta and very old school nowadays. The reason for this is the Void Ray production time was increased. Likewise, the energy on the shield battery was decreased as well whenever it gets made. So there were just so many things that nerfed this build to the ground, and because that's just very niche. It's still seen, again, as I mentioned, every now and then, depending on the map, but not Hero Persephone. No shot. As CranKy breaks out. Does break out, moves out across the map. And collapse on what little is left. So there's that one shield battery, but we have plenty of Cyclones, plenty of landed Vikings as well that can actually trade quite well against gateway units. Surprisingly so, the boys are being pulled, and the Vikings, they just mowed through this. 21 probe kills, a GG gets called, and CranKy takes game number 1. GG. Assault game 1 there out of CranKy. Again, a cheeky build there by Victor, but unfortunately, again, there's certainly weak points to said build. It definitely has been weakened over time as well, and yeah, with that CranKy playing it safe. Remember, he scouted that there was missing pylon, there was missing tech. How did he respond? With bunkers, right? With bunkers, wasn't necessarily the correct response, but he was, you know, wary of what was going on anyway. He went for the SCV scout, found the proxy, GG. GG well played, sir. Good response, a very safe play there by CranKy, making sure that he does not get caught with his pants down. And now we're making our way into game number 2, and we'll see what Victor has in store for us. We'll see how he does bring this back. We'll see if he has another cheese up his sleeve, or if we get into a more standard macro game. Oh boy, here we go. So we're getting into game number 2. Can I line up the intro this time? Or maybe. At spawning in the top right-hand corner of Leylines, we have our Brazilian Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing Team Host Gaming. Now down in the series, we'll see if we can bring it back, bounce back, and force the ace match. It is Victor Bansimer. Senor Victor. Can you wait for the zooms? There we go, beautiful. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the blue Terran representing Eximius Gaming. It is Kamikaze. Beautiful. Here we go. It's very scattered immediately. Yeah, as we mentioned, like Kamikaze was being very safe when it came to what he was up against. Very safe. Was able to scout, able to spawn quite nicely, and it was very fortunate that he was able to check that location earlier. It was very fortunate. The less than 3. As from here, this time we do see Victor going for a more standard opener. This time he is expanding. Is setting up back at home. Likewise, Kamikaze going for once again a double gas opener. So very safe play here by Kamikaze. Double gas, faster factory out of our Terran player. Victor, he does keep his probe hidden here just to go in for another scout, but again back at home is expanding. So we've gotten it out of our system. We're not cheesing anymore, we're not being hyper aggressive, we are expanding, we're chilling out back at home and building up towards a longer game state. Once again going for the pylon that will disrupt the production, does delay the add-ons. Kamikaze confirms that there is a base and he takes his own CC. Zone command center. Meanwhile, we have our check of choice. It is going to be the Twilight Council opener out of Victor. So opening up Twilight Council, opening up Blink. Typically this should be Blink. I say that tentatively just because Victor, he may, especially after what happened in game 1, he may be willing to go into, like, I don't know, a glaive related build or a charge related build as well, and go for a 2-base all-in. And Kamikaze is the favorite player coming into this, so all-ins would make sense. So we'll see if Victor plays standard or if he plays something different. And there we go, Blink. Okay. So far so good. Blink is on the way. Likewise, second gateway as well. We'll see if we throw down extra gateways at any point into a 3-gate setup, a 4-gate setup. For now, only 2. Now only 2 gates. Sorka's a zone back at home. Likewise, third Nexus now on the way. Do we see a Kamikaze from Kamikaze? He does that in TBT, unironically. Oh no! As my shot's coming in, 4 pros go down. Nice damage here from Kamikaze. But if you've seen his TBT, I think we covered him. Was it Kamikaze versus INexorable? No, I think it was Kamikaze versus Yan, maybe. One of the 2 big Terrans where Kamikaze, he went for non-stop doom drops to his death, I will say, like, but non-stop doom drops time again, and would often lose 3-4 full medevacs worth of units. That did happen quite often in TBT. So we have seen that before. I think it was versus INexorable. Meanwhile, Mindrop coming back in. Oh. Getting 3 more probes, not bad. Liberation zone in the main base. So we do see Victor getting pulled apart here. He's having a hard time keeping up. His army's out of position. The Stalkers that were halfway across the map, they're not back at home to defend. And Victor just getting torn apart. Bleeding out 8 more workers. And Victor did open up 2 gates into a 3rd base, so a very economic build. Not so much anymore. The purpose of this opener was to be able to take an economic advantage, a worker lead, a base lead. It did lose a lot of that. And Kamikaze, thankfully, playing Bio. Kamikaze is known for playing mech, for meching it up in certain matchups. But here he is going into Sim, Combat Shields +1. Is embracing Bio here. As Victor's now taking up in towards a Colossus. Charge as well. I mean, again, when it comes to the tech, when it comes to the overall overarching build of Victor, it is all standard, it is all what we would expect to be seeing late Forge, is what I will add. But just a little bit too much economic damage early on. So he's still playing catch up, he's still trying to recover from all those losses. Kamikaze looking a little more comfortable. And we're waiting for Kamikaze's upgrades. Once they kick in, then he can move out. Then he can start to push. And he may not stop. Here we go. We can see Victor is getting ready for any kind of move out. He's ready to delay the push. Yes, Kamikaze does break out. Again, Victor, he's at least aware of the move out. But as he's aware of the main army, we have a double jump here towards the main. And Victor, he hasn't seen that yet. Once again, peeking away at the Marines, forcing out a stim. Zealot jump into the main, not bad. SCVs are going to be going down. Let's go. These Zealots, they pop off, they get 8 SCV kills. But what about across the map? What about the double jump with the 3rd? And Kamikaze stims in. Forcing up. Ooh, full medevac goes down. Brutal loss for Kamikaze. Victor, he's so far defending well. Defends the main, harasses across the map. Colossus does respond. Oh no, the Colossus! Get out of here! Oh, the Colossus goes down. Massive pickup. And Kamikaze going for the bay as well. Stimming on forward, and Victor out of position. He pushed towards bottom right. There's Liberator at the natural, main army at the 3rd, and drop in the main. Kamikaze popping off. All over Victor. Oh, tracking the army into tank fire. Nice dodge here on the Widow Mines. But Kamikaze, his economy, that's what's hurting. 18 probe kills tonight mining. Ooh, Kamikaze, he is going to be broken here. Just barely. I saw you soon. The tanks, they tanked down the tank. Sorry, they tanked down the Colossus. Colossus goes down. GG, and Kamikaze, he will claim the series 2-0, taking down Victor. Whew. GG. Does claim the series, does take him down. I mean, Kamikaze did come in as a favorite player, but a shout out to Victor because, again, he did have a cheeky build initially in Game 1. Here in Game 2, something more standard, but again, what was really hurting him was the economy. He was having a really hard time being in position for either lib harass or widow mine drops or drop play in general. We saw time and time again he was actually caught out on the map. Even towards the end here, he was pushing towards the south side when the main army came in towards the north. Unfortunately, just had a really hard time maintaining map vision, map awareness, and map control. GG. GG well played. With that, CranKy does claim the series, and he will advance on into the next round in the lower bracket. That was our initial best of 3, but I believe up next we have our best of 5s. Let's go, Papi, let's go. I believe we are going to be setting up here for our next matchup. Oh, never mind. Actually, we're going to continue our best of 3s initially. Up next is going to be our Terran versus Terran matchup, Yan versus Elevolts. So these are lower bracket matches. These are elimination matches. Players are going to be getting knocked out of these tournaments, or out of the tournament here. So Victor is out, and up next, Yan versus Elevolts. One of these two also going to be knocked out. Oh boy. Here we go. As we are setting up and getting things ready. Beautiful. All right, we have our players, and we are loading in. I'm gonna be loading in. I remember Elevolts, he was looking quite impressive the last time we covered him here. So we'll see how he compares, though, to one of the stronger Terrans in the region. As in the bottom left-hand corner, we do have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing his team at PWT, I believe, Power Toxic. It is Elevolts. Yo, now to get into this, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Amiga, bienvenidos. Thank you so much to Bond Gameplay in the chat. Gracias, thank you so much. Bond, of course, one of the big names and a big part of the HSL, the Hispanic StarCraft League. Gracias. Thank you so much. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. And this morning, in the top right corner, we have the Brazilian Terran player. It is Yan for Team Hellfire. Let's go. Whew. Let us go. But yes, welcome to the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit, El Circuito Brasileiro, Deci2. Where we are in the lower brackets. We're here to determine which of these two players is going to be eliminated from the tournament. Our TVT is upon us. Yes, thank you, Ponka. Thank you. Gracias. I do appreciate it. As we are settling in and calming down. Now, when it comes to this TVT, I think I mentioned last time, it is so unfortunate that Yan got the group that he did. Here in the lower bracket, we usually have some lower tier players, but Yan is the GM. Yan is one of the best Terrans in the region. I would rate him higher than CranKy even. Like, Yan is a beast. But he was in the group of death. He was in the same group as like the 3 other big names and heavy hitters in Brazil. So he kind of drew the short end of the stick. Because of that, he actually had a really poor standing out of the group stage, and he has to work his way back up through the lower bracket instead. And we'll see if Elevolts can keep up.
SCVs are getting wrecked.
God damn it. I can't escape Diva, baby. I can't escape it. Ah, no. Yan. SMH my hedge. So now double gas opener out of Yan. We do have a more economic opener out of Elevolts. You can see Elevolts going for a single gas racks into CC on the low ground, so more economic build from our red Terran player. We'll see if he can get away with that economy. We'll see if Yan can make use of his greater attack and be more aggressive. Reaper does move out. Reaper is deflected. Does from the natural, but doesn't quite commit in. Behind this reactor to Reaper, Hellion here from Yan. Meanwhile, as you can see, Elevolts still working on his first factory. Remember, this was a faster CC, a greater economic build from Elevolts, so he has less to defend. Less Reapers, less Hellions. The bunker is going to be a big part of the defense here. We'll see if he can hold on to the natural. Likewise, the reactor Reaper can always bypass and go straight into the main. Here we go. How you live with Diva in your ears? God. I mean, people that play with Diva is fine. It's just whenever I try to look at the POV of a player to see what they see, like bam, it's Diva during the cast. Like, ah, god damn it. God damn. It's very jarring. It's very jarring. Every time. That's it we go. Reapers, they bust into the main. They delay the bunker. Yeah, no bunker in the main base. You can see the Reapers have controlled the ramp. They have controlled the production. Headed for the mineral line. 1, 2 SCV kills so far. Getting, oh, almost another Reaper. Almost. Cyclone has ride with the help of the Cyclone. Elevault, he should hold. He should be fine. He should be able to hold on. But at a cost of 4 SCVs. Takes down another Reaper. Not bad. But again, 4 SCVs went down. Yan continues with drop play, moving out with his own Cyclone, his own Marines. And Yan, after killing those SCVs, he does take a worker lead. Bearing in mind that his CC was later, by the way. It was a delayed CC, delayed orbital. But Yan has taken that worker lead, that worker advantage. Impressive. So now he's moving out. Dropping into the main. Third CC on the way from Elevault. It's very fast. Third Elevault, so greedy. Elevault's going for the faster natural and the much faster third base. As Elevault does pull away. Does pull away. Yan rotating over towards the right hand side, now getting his own CC. Building up his fire tank. Oh. Drop is deflected. Oh. Nicely done here by Elevault. He's holding on. My biggest concern though, when we get into this, even though we have a third CC on the way for Elevault, is the worker count. Elevault, he has been missing SCV production cycles. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, as you can see here, he's not making SCVs. He's stuck at 30 workers, just now starting SCVs again. But slipping up with your macro here, I mean, it does add up. And is a big part, I mean, it's something that we can't quite afford in this level of play. Against this level of an opponent. I'm sure that's also partly why Yan was able to take a worker advantage so early, so quickly as well. Which I was surprised by. As Elwell's trying to play catch up. Working towards his own bio upgrades. Tim, combat shields. Yeah, and getting double E-base. And again, despite Elevolt's getting the faster natural and the faster third CC, he is behind worker-wise, behind economically. Even here, I'm not seeing workers in production. There we go, just now making them. Did miss another SCV cycle. Here we go. Yeah, and he's moving out. Now, when it comes to the main armies, when it comes to the main fight, a lot of this comes down to positional play. Yeti's up by 1 tank, which is nice and all, but it all depends on who's able to siege up first, the angle of attack, the engagement itself. You can be down in supply, down 20-30 supply, but if you're the first to siege, if you're able to outposition your opponents in TBT, then you can still take a better fight. What does kind of bypass all of that is Ravens. As you can imagine, Ravens with the disables, they don't care about who sieges first, they just disable whatever they can. And you can break through nonetheless. Vikings, they will zone. Nicely done. Speaking of Ravens, they are denied. You know, I'll drop into the main, just the Marines and Cyclones once again. Here we go, 9 SCV kills, drop into the main base, workers going to be going down. At the same time, Yan pulling away. But still getting quite a lot already here, takes out the Viking. Viking goes down, came with the production as well, getting a tank. Yeah, in the end, the drop will fall, but that was still worth it. At the same time, looks like Elevolts did take down some of the Ravens at least. But Yan still containing his opponent throughout. Behind all of this, Yan is on 3 bases. His 3rd base is up and running, fully saturated. Was able to deal nice economic damage in the main. And here he pulls back, he builds up, takes a greater supply lead, and all that Yan has to do is just delay / deny the 3rd base. I just wake up. You just wake up. This is nice to contain. 4th CC on the way. He's getting that 4th CC. And he breaks out. Now, did bleed out his Ravens earlier, so he doesn't really have as much dive potential. But because of his supply lead, he might just tank some shots. He might just go in anyway. Take an inefficient fight and break through. Elevolts once again the first to siege. Does set up at his 3rd. Zones away Yan. It does rotate. Rotating once again. Still has a massive fly lead. Again, it's still not easy pushing into all these tanks though. He does have air control. Elevolts trying to keep up. He only has the 2 Vikings. Yeah, just opening up another attack path. Yeah, still looking for a way in. Oh, drags out within range. Massive tank shots. Elevolts bleeds out a lot of bio, a lot of Marines. Medivac, almost another Viking. Yan does have some disables available with the Raven, so he can break this. Oh god, oh god. He could. But as you can see here, it's just not easy to break a siege like this. Oh, with the Raven he could, but now taking it slow. Baits out the stem. There you go, the 2nd wave has arrived. And getting to 3-3. Triple expanding. Again, just taking full advantage of his map control. Of his contain. From here he can just stim in. Now working on a fusion core, working towards liberators. Meanwhile, Elevolts, he does actually slip by. Let's go. And liberation has arrived. And this is why air control is so important in TVT. What is the answer? There's too much freedom. There's too much. 1, 2, 3 tank kills. Elevolts, he tries to slip by, but he gets spotted. Yan stims in, better upgrades. And he just cleans up all the Marines, shuts them down. GG gets called, and Yan, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Yan will take the game again. A very young player in Brazil. I want to say nowadays like 18-ish years old, still very young. I think maybe just now finishing up high school, but a lot of potential as a player. As I mentioned before, really unfortunate that he got knocked down early on just because he was in a really brutal group, but he's looking to try to redeem himself here and try to work his way back up in through that lower bracket, and we'll see if he can. So far, does take a lead against Elevolts, but we're now getting ready for that 2nd game, and we'll see how Elevolts will adjust things here. So yeah, we'll adjust. Last game we had Elevolts go for more economic builds, but in the end, he couldn't quite take advantage or make a leverage, or use that to his leverage and try to take that economic advantage. He did fall behind quite early on, losing SCVs and struggling when it comes to making workers. So we could see something more aggressive here instead. We'll see. We shall see. As game 2 is going to be on Ultra Love. Ultra Love is one of the smaller maps of the map pool. It's a smaller map, but has a very defendable third and fourth base. There's a lot of choke points, a lot of ramps as well. We have seen a lot of late game on Ultra Love, so we could see that again. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Power Toxic. It is Elevolts. One of these days, baby. One of these. There we go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have for Team Hellfire, the Brazilian Terran player, the challenger, leading the series 1-0. It is Yan. Here we go. Okay, there's a bit of history between the two players. They've faced off once before in Convergence Cup number 22, where Yan did take down Elevolts 2-0. I said this before, I'll say it again. I love the little graphic that they use to show the head-to-head. I would love to incorporate that into our own broadcast somehow, using like the Elite API or something. I can see where it can get a little bit finicky when it comes to players with the same IDs. But I imagine that's very possible. I'm just thinking of ways to do it. But yeah, one day. Maybe later this year. We'll get it going. As of now, do you have Yan once again? Double gas open out of Yan once again. A faster CC out of Elevolts. So we have the same mirrored openers that we saw last time, that we saw last game, with Yan being more aggressive and getting a faster factory, with Elevolts being more economic and getting a faster command center. So we'll see if Elevolts can tighten up his defense this time and minimize losses. So far the Reaper does poke in. Elevolts is keeping up. A bunker is on the way, with the bunker on the low ground. And the same opener, Reactor Reaper Hellion. So we're not really adjusting too much. If you remember, this was Reactor Reaper Hellion, and this led into a Cyclone drop from the side of Yan. We'll see if he does the same. See if he does the same. So now Yan moving out. Does threaten the natural. So far SimCity is solid though, let's go. Didn't realize, but the Reaper Cliff is fully walled off. Last side is not stopping Yan, he's still trying to break through, going for the depot. Depot is being targeted down. And there's not much to work with here. We have a couple Marines popping out. Hellion towards the natural, Depot is gonna go down. Yan just brute forcing it. See Elevolts replacing that depot. Does replace, tank has arrived. And we can see that Yan this time does not follow up with the Cyclone drop. We have Ravens on the way and tanks on the way earlier on instead. I mean, I would say that his Cyclone drop did quite a lot of damage last game. Did quite a lot throughout the course of the entire game even, as he did preserve it. But this time Yan going for a stronger and earlier tank push. does take a different approach. As Yen is setting up. Third CC's on the way for our blue Terran on location. Elevolt's staying back home. Building up himself. Going for reactor and medevacs. Elevolt's looking to go for some drop play. Okay. Does delay the CC. Does delay. Is where the Ravens. Upon seeing the Ravens, I don't think that Elevolts can actually do much across the map, I'll be honest. He's aware of the disables, and even if he's able to get a drop off, I mean, he's still going. Let's go! Let's go! It's all or nothing. We're setting up for the Doom drop. It's going to be 4 tanks. Bunch of fire. This is hyper committed from Elevolts. It's his entire... He has nothing else back at home. He's just sending it. Let's go. As he's moving out. Yeah, and we'll see if he can... we'll see if he's going to be in position for this. Right now, Yen, he has his Reaper Hellion patrolling outside of the natural. Meanwhile, his main army is parked at his own natural base. Elevolt's waiting for his moment. I'm not too certain what Elevolt's did say. No fluent in Portuguese. No rush 7. Let's go. Two drops coming in. Does go for the tank. Ooh, does unload. Unloads into siege tanks. The MasTeR. Getting 1, getting 2 tanks. And with that, the Elevolts, he does break through. Does break through into the main. He still has 3 tanks left over. Vikings, they will land. And in the end, he will clean this up. He will clean this up. It was all or nothing here for Elevolts. He sent everything into the natural. And he somewhat trades. He gets a couple of tanks, gets a marine. He's saying I lost. That I understand. Barely, TT. I mean, again, like it was borderline all in, right? It was just all or nothing. Massive Doom drop, 4 tanks. Did not trade well enough. But Elevolt's still gonna play it out. Let's go. Meanwhile, Yan playing mech. Jesus, I just realized. I didn't realize that he had gotten another factory, but yeah, Yan, he is making it up, going into more factories, going pure tank Viking Raven. There are a handful of Marines from the early game, but that's definitely the early game. Nice catch from Elevolts. Takes down the Reapers. Okay. Yo, we're still in this. And Elevolts is down 2 bases. That's not helping. That's not helping, but he's doing what he can. He's hunting down Ravens. Hunting down any key air units. Doesn't quite find any. He is pushing towards the left-hand side, and the reality here is that Yan, he does have the larger army supply, but he is spread thin. Right, spread between his natural, between his 3rd, between his 4th base as well. Yan also doesn't... never mind. I was gonna say he doesn't have eyes on the main army, but he does spot Elevolts. Now he's repositioning. Repositioning. So Yan keeping up. Let's see, rotates over towards the right hand side. I mean, supply-wise, he's actually not in a bad position. Like, he's equivalent when it comes to workers. He's down, what, 20 army supply, which is manageable. If it wasn't pure tank. That's a lot of tanks. Ah, no. So Raven goes down. While teaching over the high grounds, catching out some cast geysers. So he does not have the Viking lead, has to be careful. And better by slowing down. Oh, and the bio army tried with, oh no, tried within range. Tanks, they shut down the bio. And Yen is breaking out. And again, looking at this game, you would not notice that Elevolts, he did go for a Doom Drop earlier and lost everything. He has a comparable army size, but it's the problem here is that he's up against mech. It's a pure mech army. And moving in, he has the high ground. He does that position. He's the first to siege. And he will break through those tanks. Likewise, getting within range here of the CC. Level 2 will barely win the fight in the sky. Takes down the Liberators. Takes down the Vikings. We will lose control of the base. Yen behind this on 94 SCVs. Once again, double expanding. So we have Marauders catching some reinforcements. Some nice little pickups here and there from Elevolts. Getting another tank. Again, Marauders, they can trade well. Trade well. They're better finding another 2 tanks. And we've been here before in the last game where it can just be so difficult in TVT to break a siege line even when you're up in supply. It's not an easy thing to do. Last game we saw that Yan did do what's predicated off the fact that he had those Liberators, so he could actually just dominate the ground and force on sieges. Here he doesn't really have that control anymore. He tried to. Earlier, as you saw, he was getting Liberators, but alas, did lose the fight in the sky. Yeah, and also lacking upgrades. The main armies are about to clash. Oh! Oh, doors are here. Here to support the air. Door shots going up. Alas, we do see Elevolts take down all the Vikings. Going for his own Liberators, okay. He is fighting back. Takes down one of the tanks. Again, doesn't trade too poorly. Does stim in, but he cannot stim into the siege line. Yeah, Vikings is one thing. Does it in the Vikings, and he does break through a couple of tanks. Still a rough trade though. And in the end, he will maintain the high ground. He resets the Viking count. He can now land. And that was not the fight to take. Elevolts just getting a little bit too impatient. GG gets called. That ends. And with that, Yen, he will take the series 2-0. Advancing on to the next round. GG. And my condolences to Elevolts. Elevolts, he's going to be eliminated from the tournament. But Yen, he will continue his run. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Yen. Again, Yen, he came in as the favorite player. Shout out to Elevolts, so again, he had some cheeky builds up his sleeve. I say cheeky builds, some interesting styles in game 2 at least, when it came to the initial Doom Drop. But alas, In the end, he did take it. Now we're getting ready for our next series here. Now we're taking a break from the lower bracket. We're moving up to the upper bracket. Here we go. Now we get the big names facing off. There's not a best of 3. There's a best of 5. Best of 5 here between INexorable and MasTeR. After this, best of 5 between Erik and Shakti. Let's go. The big names are facing off. In the previous 2 matches, we did have like a GM up against a lower tier player, up against a Masters player. So it was a bit of a more of a skill disparity. Here, though, lesser. Here, we have the best of the best in Brazil facing off. Let's go. As game 1 is going to be on ley lines. Game 1 is going to be on ley lines. And again, shout out to Elevolt for making it this far in the tournament. Do hope to see more of him in the future when it comes to Code for Giants Cups and Amatis StarCraft. For sure. So here we go. We are loading into our next best of 5. You got here at 7 minutes. Oh, okay, thank you. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the best Terran player in all of Brazil, representing his new team, now representing Team Little Fairy. Oh god, never mind, we'll get to his intro later. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the best Protoss in all of Brazil, and arguably the best Protoss in all of Latino America, representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. Ranked number 1 in the overall circuit, and spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the best Terran player in all of Brazil. It is INexorable for Little Fairy. Ranked number 3 in the overall standings. If you're curious who is 1, 2, and 3, number 1 is MasTeR, number 2 is Erik, and number 3 is INexorable. They are the top 3 in Brazil, and you can see the history between these players. Very back and forth. 45% in favor of INexorable, 55% in favor of MasTeR. But you can see in every series, ace matches all around. There were so many 3-2s in that scoreline, in that back and forth, in that graphic. So many ace matches. In recent times, we have seen INexorable bring down MasTeR, typically off of hyper-aggressive play. Usually timing attacks on 2 bases, on 3 bases, is what INexorable does thrive, as he's a much more aggressive player, and we'll see how MasTeR can keep up. Light doesn't sleep because it's never dark, but always dank. Oh no. I had I mentioned this over the course of the weekend, but I did sleep in 2-hour intervals this week, or this weekend. Basically, I had a cast and I slept 2 hours, and I had another cast and I slept 2 hours, and I had another cast and I slept 2 hours. Or I tried to sleep 2 hours. The first time I didn't get to sleep at all. But yeah, that was the plan. And we made it through the weekend. We made it through. We casted like, I want to say like 6 or 7 tournaments within the course of 2 days. Something like that. It was intense, Pat. It was intense. We made it. We made it. Let's go. And this is the final tournament to wrap it up. To wrap up the weekend. After this, I'm gonna have to edit as many VODs as I can, schedule a bunch of VODs, then we have the Wardy TV Monday later on tonight. But we made it. Let's go. Thing is, if we don't cast, who does, man? Who does? We gotta be there. For now though, we now have our build of choice. INexorable, he does open up with a 3 racks. Let's go. Initially, economic opener, going for the racks expand into a 3 rack setup. This is very old school. This is very out of meta. This was very in meta and in vogue back maybe a year ago. This is going to be for a very heavy bio army. Ooh, actually, tech lab on the factory. Never mind. I mean, this is still working towards early stim, but also earlier tank production. And this is going to hit like a truck. This looks like a 2-base all-in. From here, INexorable, he has the option to pull the boys. So the way this works here is that we're building up a heavy marine count. We're going to hit a timing with stim, building up an early tank count. I believe this hits with 3 tanks. I want to say around 3 tanks here for INexorable. It's going to hit like a truck. And INexorable, he will have the option to push out without medevacs. Remember, there is no starport. We delay the starport in favor of a 2nd and 3rd racks. And in favor of stim. So just no starport whatsoever, not right now. And again, he may just skip the starport and pull the boys. And right now, the pressure, the onus is on MasTeR to scout this. He sees a part of it. He sees the early 2nd racks at the natural, which is part of the tell. But for all he knows, this could be a 2-1-1. This could be a 3-1-1. This could still be a faster starport. He doesn't have full confirmation. We need an observer. We need a hallucination. We need something to confirm. Again, the pressure is on MasTeR. Observer's on the way. It's going to take a little bit longer to get across the map, but he's on the way. There's the eBay for +1. I believe right now INexorable is on 2 tanks. Okay, there's a starport. He doesn't get a 3rd tank. So starport instead into medevacs. I say into medevacs. Technically, this could be Liberator. Like, unironically. This could be a Liberator instead, just for that extra DPS. Ooh, actually, add-on swap. Okay. That's interesting. That's why there was no 3rd tank. Observer confirms. Observer sees the timing of the starport. But that's why there's no 3rd tank. He add-on swaps out of the tech lab, which means the starport will have a tech lab instead, correct? What's going on? Waiting for concussive shell. Reactor's on the way. I believe that reactor is on the factory, so this could still be an add-on swap for the reactor for the starport. As the buildings are lifting. 3rd CC is on the way. That is a surprise. I'm not convinced that it's real, I'll be honest. There's the add-on swap. You can see it off screen. Yep, reactor medevac. Now the 3rd CC is revealed to MasTeR. The observer is aware. And this move out should hit with +1. So he breaks out. My eyes are on that mini-map. I'm waiting for it. Oh, is that it? Oh, no, just transfer. Just a transfer. Never mind. Does break out across the map. Colossus is almost done. And we'll see what INexorable can do here. Again, this is very committed. He is getting a 3rd CC. 2 more maxes. Okay, he's macroing out of this. But now there's a Colossus. MasTeR, he can shut this down. He can and he will. Oh, the Colossus is within range of the tank fire. Colossus almost going down. Has the guy back. Does kite away. Zelsa do a great job tanking here. And with that INexorable, he trades, but he cannot push through. He cannot push through. Again, if the boys were with this, then sure, but he opted not to go for the all-in. And with that, I had to favor MasTeR. Like, MasTeR, he has a better economy. From here, he can take a 4th base. Another Colossus. And INexorable, he trades against gateway units, but doesn't get the damage he was hoping for. And the game continues. Game does continue. Now, what I will say, INexorable did keep his tanks alive. True. Did keep them alive. So he can make use of them later on. But now he's forced to retreat. MasTeR now gets a 4th base, and MasTeR is getting further ahead at this point. Getting a 4th, getting +2, getting extendable lance. You could argue the 4th base is quite late here for MasTeR. It's a late 4th. MasTeR pokes in. Gonna be zoned away. He's turned away. Colossus taking a lot of damage. Taking a lot of fire. Oof, as they both go to, oh, that should not have happened. Both Colossus fall, and INexorable takes a massive supply lead. He can just move out. Yeah, MasTeR overextends. Again, he should not have been out there. Earlier, I was saying that he took a lead. That was an economic lead. Did not have to break out like that, and suddenly MasTeR is in trouble. He's in danger. The rover is under fire. He's not going to get another Colossus. And without Colossus, how does he hold? He needs more time. Zelsa collapse in. He blinks one forward into tank fire. Now we spoke about those two tanks. GG gets called, and INexorable, he punishes MasTeR, he breaks him, and INexorable takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Again, MasTeR with a heavy overextension. He did defend well. He was getting a 4th base. He was macroing up, building up towards extent on the lance, and then he pushed out. He got caught with his pants down. He lost everything, and everything quickly escalated from there. Again, showing that you cannot make these missteps, you cannot make these mistakes. Losing 2 Colossus that early on was brutal. And hey, those tanks that survived, they came into play. We're able to make use of them in the counterattack. INexorable to take it from there. GG. GG, well played, INexorable. He does take a lead in the series. And MasTeR has to calm things down. Papi has to calm things down. Oh no. We'll see if he can. As game 2 is going to be on Tokamak. Now, as a reminder, this is a best of 5, so plenty more games ahead of us. Plenty more games to come. Here we go. Getting into one of the larger maps of the map pool. Larger map, more defensive map. And we'll see how our players do adjust coming into this. Oh. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tokamak, so bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Team Hellfire. Down in the series, we'll see if he bounces back again. He's ranked number 1 in the overall standings in the circuit. It is MasTeR. Not the pants. Oh no, not the pants. No. Where did they go? As spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the blue Terran. It is INexorable for Little Fairy. Here we go. Again, INexorable able to take a lead in the series. You can see their back and forth history between the two players. MasTeR with a slight advantage over INexorable in the history of Brazilian tournaments. But INexorable, he has those recent wins against him. Just clean them. Ah, no. As INexorable, cheeky move, he does fully wall off. This is a little bit inefficient. He does spend resources on a depot that's not really coming into play, but he does so to just fully wall MasTeR out of the main and to hide his build. Now, behind this, we can see that it is double gas. Double gas opener out of INexorable. Now, the scary thing is that MasTeR, he doesn't know this. For all he knows, it could be a Rax expand, a CC on the high ground. It could still be an economic build, or it could be a more aggressive one. MasTeR does not know. And it's not like this is game ending or anything like that, but, you know, there's now that unease that now goes over MasTeR here. It goes over and shrouds this game. Technically, this can turn into a 1-1-1, one base all in. It shouldn't. INexorable, there we go, CC on the high ground. Command center is on the way. Building up. Now, with the faster factory, that can lead into faster starports. That can lead, yep, speaking of, a very fast starport out of INexorable. What do you have for us? What do you got? Now, from here, you can go for early drop play. Tech Lab is in production. This can lead into a Cyclone drop. This can lead into a tank drop. I'm leaning towards one or the other. MasTeR playing it safe, opening up Sentry, going for the hallucination. Makes sense. As MasTeR has no idea what's going on, so he has to confirm. There's a medevac. Tech lab is done. Oh. And the hallucination does confirm the CC. Does get eyes on the 111. It's almost like a fake out tech lab here. We have a Widowmine initially. From INexorable. Here's going from the mine. Okay, mine drop into add-on swap. Banshee production behind this. Hallucination does confirm the add-on swap. Technically, this could be a Raven base opener. We can see his Banshee. Even going into Cloak. INexorable does bust into the main. He's going for the workers. We'll see if he can get into that mineral line. Alas, he cannot. Nice target firing. Stalker goes down. Nice pickup. Takes out the Stalker. Pulls away with the army. Blink is not done. And INexorable, he will get away. Does get away. One Reaver for one probe and one Stalker. Better trade for INexorable. Robo's on the way. And with that, MasTeR will have access to detection. Third base not being taken. Once again, Scouts once again confirms that Cloak is being researched. But for the most part, he should be fully worth Cloak Banshee. Technically, that could be Interference Matrix, but Interference Matrix is just so out of meta nowadays. Like, Cloak will be the first to come to mind. And Banshee is revealed. MasTeR is ready. MasTeR's getting some safety shield batteries in each mineral line just in case. He confirms the move out. And MasTeR's getting in position. Blink is done. Now working towards charge. But it's on MasTeR to slow this down. Instead going for a counter attack. Okay, it does come back. Turns back around. He can collapse on this army. Detection is available. Despite that, Stalkers are going down. Banshees, they add so much DPS here. And the tank does siege. Takes down the pylon, depowers the shield battery. Tank blows massive blows on the Stalkers. He blinks in, he goes to the tide. He gets one, he gets both tanks. Ooh, but at a cost, he will lose almost every single Stalker. That was a brutal trade. Does take down the tanks, but that may just cost him the base. Now there's no more Stalkers, he cannot slow this down. Does go for the warp in. The Nexus under fire. Banshees, they peel off into the mineral line. And they can one-shot. And GG gets called. They can one-shot workers. They wreak havoc. The third base, that's a kill on the third as well. And INexorable takes a massive lead. Takes a 2-0 advantage over MasTeR. Sorry, INexorable takes a 2-0 advantage over MasTeR. GG. Ay, ay, ay. Again, that was just a brutal blink from MasTeR to blink forward onto those tanks. Upon losing all those Stalkers, that was it. That was game then and there. He could not keep up. He could not maintain those losses. Losing a third base after going for a 2-gate blink opener was brutal. Lost everything. GG. GG well played. Lost all the Stalkers, the economy, the base as well. And INexorable, he is close to causing an upset. I say upset. We did recently see INexorable defeat MasTeR in the finals of Code for Giants Cup and of Atlantis and StarCraft, but it was the ace match, right? It went all the way to game 7. It was a 4-3 in favor of INexorable, or even a 3-2 before that in favor of INexorable. These still were back and forth going all the way to game 5 or game 7. We expect that here as well, but INexorable, he's close to taking the 3-0. He is one step closer to the 3-0 here, which would be insane. Let's go. We'll see if he can go all the way. We'll see if MasTeR can put a point on the board and fight back. And I expect him to, right? Like, we expect an ace match between these two players, considering that MasTeR is the #1 seed of the tournament. But, having a rough time here tonight. happening over time. Also, shout out to INexorable having some cheeky builds as well, or well thought out builds is maybe a better way of putting it. In that last game, opening up with the faster factory, with the faster gases, wouldn't mind drop into Banshee, into early tank push. It all just led into each other. And MasTeR had a really hard time keeping up. And here we go. We're now getting into game number 3, potentially the final game of the series. Again, I'm hoping for a game 4 and a game 5. But the pressure is on, as in the bottom right hand corner we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the red Protoss of Team Hellfire. Again, the #1 ranked player in the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit, but struggling here in the CVP. It is MasTeR. It was close. And in the top left-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the blue Terran, representing Team Little Fairy, leading the series 2-0. It is INexorable. 2-0, man. Yeah. Hello, Zetekone. Hello. And again, you can see here 4-3 in favor of INexorable, 3-1 in favor of INexorable as well, 3-2 in favor of MasTeR. Like, they do often trade back and forth. It's very rare to see a 3-0 in either direction. But INexorable, he's almost there. See, this is an INexorable that can now focus purely on StarCraft. For those that are curious, for a big portion, I say big portion, Jesus, the time flies. We're halfway through the year. Jesus. But for the last 2 months, I want to say, I was gonna say like a big portion of 2025, but that's not even true. For the past 2 months, INexorable, he has been playing less StarCraft because he was he was in the middle of his exams, university exams, I should say. So INexorable took some time off. He was being less active. I was concerned that he was retiring. I was like, yo, Pappy, what's going on? He was like, no, just, you know, focusing on my studies, focusing on exams. But they did wrap up. I want to say like a month ago at this point. Like a month ago, did wrap up. And now, since then, he has been focusing on competing, on improving, on playing once again. And yeah, looking terrifying here. Looking terrifying. I hear the fanfare in my head when I watch StarCraft 2 matches on the other streams. Oh, we're conditioning you. No, I'm the same. I'll be honest, I have a really hard time watching like GSL or watching like IM Katowice or EWC, especially last year. Like watching and not hearing the fanfare when they have the player introduction. I think for EWC it was a little bit better because they did have like a sound cue, but in general, like, man, I need my trumpets. I need I feel empty inside without them. Oh no. They just go off in my head. Here we go. That's the fanfare. You bring the fanfare wherever you go. That's the secret. The real fanfare is inside you. Yes, it's inside. Oh no. Hello, Mr. Melancholia. Hello. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Thank you as always, buddy. You're welcome. You're welcome. Hope you're enjoying the weekend. I know that we're nearing the end of the weekend, or here it's already Monday. But I hope you had a great weekend. Hope you guys had a great time with all the StarCraft. Again, there was a lot of StarCraft over the weekend. As always, so much. Meanwhile, we do have our initial move out here from INexorable, so a little bit distracted. Moving out with the initial Cyclone push into, I believe, a tank push here. INexorable with the early aggression. He's going for the kill. He's going for the pylon. And if he can kill that pylon, he can end the game. The tank does get within range. Pylon's under fire, and before we can even get into the game itself, it may just end here and now. The pylon goes down. The Artosis pylon depowers everything. Everything's depowered. No more gateways, no robo, no shield battery, no nothing. And that could just be game. The pylons are still within range. They're going down one after the other. GG gets called, and INexorable with the early push, with the early aggression, with the early cyclone and tank drop. will take the series. GG. GG, well played. This is a very nasty build that a lot of the Koreans, I say Koreans, a lot of the Terran players have been doing. If you've been watching MaxPax versus Clem recently, it was, I want to say 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks, maybe a month ago, MaxPax was doing this almost every game. He was doing this almost every game, and he was killing, I should say Clem was doing this almost every game, and he was killing MaxPax. Like, he was brutalizing him. This was on some of the smaller maps, like Whispers of Gold, for example, or even Persephone as well, Ultra Love, like these smaller maps where you can try to rush into this early Cyclone, early tank, and end the game. And it can be difficult to keep up with if you do miss the scout, if you're not ready for it. As you saw here, unfortunately MasTeR, he wasn't able to be proactive. Like, he wasn't able to stop the push or force an earlier siege. He was at home, he was unaware. The pants were completely down, pappy. GG, well played. Ooh, with that, INexorable will claim the series 3-0. Crazy. They'll take the series. INexorable, he will advance on to the upper portion of the bracket, to the upper bracket finals, I believe, and MasTeR is knocked down to the lower bracket. GG, well played. With that, congratulations to INexorable. Big win here for the best Terran in all of Brazil, Este Diego. And with that, we have one final best of 5 ready for us tonight. It's going to be a best of 5 between Erik and Shakti, and these games have been fast. Like, in general here, these matches have been pretty fast. We didn't really get to sink our teeth into a more mid game between INexorable and MasTeR, but I kind of alluded to that at the start of the series. INexorable is very aggressive. He's very aggressive. Not saying he has to go for these 1 base all-ins, but like 2 base play as well. Like, these strong timing attacks is how INexorable thrives against Protoss specifically. And MasTeR had a hard time keeping up. And with that, that leads us into our next best of 5 here to determine who plays against INexorable in the upper bracket, who gets knocked down to the lower bracket. We have a ZVP between Erik and Shakti. Let's go. Game 1 also on Pylon. Here we go. It's looking fresh, looking good, looking good. So fast pressure, it's pretty committed. It's very committed going into the early tank like that. If the Terran player fails to get damage done with that, then they fall behind, because if they lose their first tank, they are so vulnerable back at home to a Blinkstalker counterattack. So it's very dedicated. I wouldn't necessarily say all in, but I would comfortably say dedicated there from the Terran. But here we go. We're now getting into our next best of 5, the final best of 5 of the broadcast. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the man of the hour himself. We have the CranKy Duckling, the Brazilian Zerg player. Let's go. What does he stand for? Endurance, righteousness, intellect, and kangaroo. It is Erik. Give me the zoom. Rank number 2 in the overall standings. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the veteran of the region himself. We have the Brazilian Protoss. It is Shakti for Eximius Gaming. He may be ranked number 9, but he is far greater than that. So the only reason for that, when it comes to the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit rankings, Jesus, as that is 100% win rate in favor of Erik. But that is because Shakti is less active. For those that are unaware, Shakti, aka Nano, he is a veteran of the scene. He's been around for a very, very long time, and at times was the best Protoss in Brazil, at other times was the best Protoss in Latino America as well. This was back in 2020, 2021, 2022. The earlier, Jesus, that's a big reaction to the hatchery, is what I will say. Big reaction out of Shakti. But again, he's a veteran. But he retired. He retired like 2 years ago, and we haven't really seen him since. But he recently came back at the start of the year for the Brazilian circuit. He recently came back, and with that, he only played in a couple of tournaments, but he plays highly enough to qualify to be invited to be seeded into this tournament. And again, he is a veteran. He is one of the best players in Brazil. But we'll see if he can keep up with Erik. As he does pull 8 probes off the Mineral, he will deny this hatchery, but that was a lot of damage. Bearing in mind, this was not an all-in. This was hatch first, by the way. As Erik, the only purpose of this build is to delay the economy. Behind this, Erik, he is double expanding. Getting his natural, getting a macro hatchery, getting a spawning pool. This is a gasless opener out of Erik, and already just forcing some inefficiencies out of Shakti. I have you on my Xbox on my phone. Does that count as 2 viewers? Am I peddling the stats? Padding the stats? Oh no. Yes, you're padding the numbers, Pappy. Oh no. I believe that does count as an extra viewer. Maybe? I don't know actually. Because if you're in the same account, I don't think it counts. It counts the account twice. I don't believe. But I don't know how that works. It's all good. It's all good. Double the fanfare. As behind the Shakti does open up Twilight Council. Twilight Council open out of Shakti. Hyper aggression. This does a scream Glaive Adepts from our Protoss player. But I know that Shakti, he's a very unorthodox player at times. He's very old school when it comes to his builds.
The Hive cluster is under attack.
As I'm not too certain he watches too much modern StarCraft. Now throwing down his gateways. The drone did confirm the tech, I believe. Shakti gets across the map, and we'll see if he can try to get some damage here. Two Adepts, they can one-shot drones. They can one-shot. As we mentioned, yep, Glaives. So Twilight Council open into Glaive Adepts. Now again, Erik, I believe, did already scout this. And there it is, early Roach Warren. That is a 358 Roach Warren timing. So very early Roach Warren, very safe play out of Erik. Adepts, they get 3 drone kills, not bad, but the Adepts, they should go down. One of them at least. Bearing in mind that Erik is defending with slow links, as he does not have link speed. Link speed is delayed. As this was a gasless opener. 2 more gates in the main. I believe that is going to be 4 gates Glaive Adepts. Technically, Shakti could double down and could go up to 6 gateways and just go for a 2-base all-in. For now, there are 4 gates. You can still macro behind this and expand. And you can see the probe. He's expanding. So Shakti is setting up for another expansion. Likewise, moving out across the map. Roach Warren is done. Lings are amassing. Roaches should be as well. Erik, he refuses to make any roaches though. He has the Warren. But I mean, there's just enough. There are enough Adepts here. Yeah, not enough to threaten him. Erik, he got away with droning. Now he has roaches on the way. Lair as well. Oh, that's more. Oh, that's a lot of Adepts. Let's go. A lot of Adepts are moving out. So Erik, he at the same time does hit the 3rd. He will force a cancel. Massive pickup. But here come the Adepts. Erik, he does have SimCity. He can fully wall off. He can and he will. Roaches are in position. The wall is solid. Shakti heads towards the 3rd, but I believe there shouldn't be any drones there. As reinforcements, they get surrounded. Nice catch here from Erik. Shuts down the Adepts. 2 drones go down at the 3rd. Spinecrawler was ready for this. And Shakti gets trapped. He gets pinned down. He's gonna lose everything. And remember, Shakti, he doesn't have a 3rd. He wanted one. This was not meant to be an all-in. But he does bleed out a lot of units. And Shakti, he's running out of steam here. He's down to 1 Adept behind this. Now retaking his 3rd base, but we have Roach speed on the way. Erik is getting ready for his own push. Here we go. Erik pushing forward. Yeah, and again, he's just got a wave of roaches here, going for the Immortal. Immortal does pull back, does pull away. Does does get trapped for a moment. Erik started stepping in. Will not be able to target down the Immortal. The shield battery does come into play. Saves the Immortal, not bad. Shakti holds. Shakti does hold on. Behind this, Erik pulling back. We have Overlord speed on the way. That screams Dropper Lords. Erik pushing forward. Trading against the Adepts. Going for the Immortal. This time will get it. That makes it worth it for Erik. And with those drop lords, he can move out with his queens, or he can even just go for a Doom drop into the main. And we'll see how Erik will approach this. As there we go, 4 Overlords in production, or drop lords even. And there aren't that many queens, so it looks like we are going for the drop into the main. Let's go. As the drop lords are moving out. We're going to bypass the defenses here at the third. Speaking of, Erik does threaten the natural. At the same time, pushing in towards the right-hand side. Erik with a massive supply advantage. Roaches in the third, Roaches in the natural, Roaches into the main. Trading well against those Zealots. Does trade well. Bust into the main. Forcing a reaction, forcing Shakti back. Quest picking up, dropping off. And then remember, there is no blink. Okay, there's no blink stalkers. With that, Erik, he collapses on the right hand side. He breaks Shakti, and Erik will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Erik will take a lead. Again, Shakti forced into a really awkward position when it comes to the initial hatch block, where Shakti, he went for a Glaive Adepts, but the Glaive Adepts, they killed 2 drones. It was like 2 or 3 workers. It was just not worth it. Not worth it. There was so many Adepts. Once they got shut down, that was almost game then and there. It was also brutal that in the middle of that Glaive Adept aggression, if you remember, Erik, he denied the third. He denied the third base at the same time. He was able to force the all-in and force Shakti to be more committed than he wanted to be, and everything just fell apart from there. GG. GG, well played. Everything did fall apart. And now we are getting ready here for game number 2. We'll see if Shakti can bounce back and recover, as game 2 is going to be on ley lines. Erik can be a really tricky player to play against just because he's very fond of going for these hatch blocks and going for these more quirky timings and more quirky builds. I will say that Shakti should be somewhat familiar with him. I know that MasTeR is. Like, MasTeR, he like, there's so much metagaming going on between MasTeR and Erik because they know each other so well. But Shakti is not as active, right? I mentioned before that Shakti, you know, nowadays he plays for fun more than anything. He doesn't devote as much time to practicing. So I don't know how familiar he is too much with Erik's builds. Let's go. Let us go. He's my favorite. Ah, yes, yes, Seagrail. Mine too. As spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the Red Zerg. He is one of our own, representing the CranKy Ducklings. Going for the initial 15-15. It is Erik. Ah, it's too soon. Where's the zoom? There we go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the blue Protoss. Representing CBSC Gaming, it is Shakti. Let's go. So we are settling in and calming down. You can see here 100% win rates. Shakti hasn't taken a single map in a very long time. I want to say in the history of Shakti and Erik, Shakti actually hasn't taken a series. Like, when I mean history, I mean in the past like 10 years. I remember Shakti saying that stat earlier when we were casting them together. So, which is crazy, by the way, considering just how long they've been competing in StarCraft. It's crazy to think about. But you know, there's always a first for anything. Always a first. Do you want to believe that behind this we have our initial hatch before pull out of Erik? Very greedy build here. Went for the natural, went for the macro hatchery into the spawning pool, gasless. Now, the purpose of this build, some people might be asking, might be curious, well, why is there a macro hatch? What's going on? This is very greedy, is what I will say. This is a gasless style. The macro hatchery does allow you to skip an overlord. It does allow you to skip a creep tumor as well. It does give you early larva early on, earlier larva, I should say, so more larva early on. But to be able to afford it, what do you do? Well, one, no gas geysers. Two, no queens. Or I should say limited queen production. Your second and third queen are going to be very delayed in this build, so you have less to defend early on. It does mean that Erik is more vulnerable to committed adept harass, especially 2 gate openers. I feel like 2 gate openers can do quite well against Erik. As you can see, only 1 queen in production. So that's the give and take here, is that this is greedy. Technically, this is in a way more efficient, but it does mean less queens. It does mean later link speed, so Erik would be more vulnerable to earlier aggression. Meanwhile, Shakti opens up Stargate. It's going to be a Stargate opener. Does open up Adept as well, so he can still poke in with his first and second Adept. And we'll see if he can get some damage done. As Erik is spreading that creep. Oh, and going for the earlier Roach Horn. Now, this is not uncommon for Erik. Because this is a gasless opener, it means that, because link speed is going to be late anyway, I was going to say that you typically skip link speed so you can make out those early roaches, but no, link speed is still being researched for Erik. Okay. Link speed is still on the way. Oh, he cancelled. Oh, I see. So he canceled the Roach Horn. He starts up link speed. Erik, he does think better of going for early roaches. Does think better of it. I believe partly because he did see the Oracle. If it was going to be another Twilight Council, he probably would have committed. But it was a Stargate. Stargate into Robo. That is not normal. Oracle is deflected. But yeah, the Robo follow-up is going to be an interesting one. Now, this could be for a Soul Train. This could be for like a Sentry Mortal-based all-in. Otherwise, if we were casting a standard player, I would assume Robo into Twilight Council into Archon drop. But there is no Twilight Council. Oh, there's the Temple Archives. There we go. So it is an Archon drop. Okay. Shakti's got some builds. I did miss a Twilight Council early on, so yep, it is going to be Archon drop. This is to get into the mid game. This is to build up, to gain map control, to get into the mid game. Do apologize for missing the Twilight Council. Ooh, it is going to be an earlier War Prism though. But I believe this Prism should be lined up to morph in Archons across the map, to hunt down Overlords, and to deny creep. So here we go, here come those Archons. Again, this is a very meta build. We do see this from time to time, especially amongst the European Protoss players. The Polish Protosses and Skillus as well. And Max. Meanwhile, it's a massive gateway explosion, so we do start with the Archon draw, but this does look like a 3-base all-in. Going into mass charge lots. Archons, they poke in, they trade well, they get 1, they get 2, they get 3 roaches. Nice big offset by Shakti. Wings, they get across the map. They attempt to disrupt. Now here come the mass charge loads. Again, we have, what, like 8+ gateways behind this? That's a lot of gateways. Again, Shakti, he's committed. He's not expanding. He's not getting another base behind this. It's all or nothing for Shakti. We have a decent roach count. Erik kiting back. Does kite back. Takes out most of the zealots. He has to fight out of range of those Archons. So far, kiting well. More roaches on the way. And as the game progresses, as the game goes on, it's going to get better and better for Erik, but he needs more time. And kites back, takes down more of those zealots. 12 more roaches on the way. Boys are being pulled into the Archons. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, 8 drones go down. Brutal losses. Erik just trying to survive, trying to hold, and he will. Does cost him 13 drones, but he will clean this up. He will shut this down, gets a full surround. Queens, they move in for the prism. And now it's time to counterattack. As Queens, they push forward. Oh no, they take out the Oracle. That was 14 drone kills though. But Shakti lost his army. He lost 4 Archons, 20 charge lots. Remember, Shakti, he had no 4th behind this. He just now starts a 4th base. It's very late. That's still a lot of zealots. Oh, good. It's a lot of charge lots. But the Queens are waddling in. Queens are waddling in. Erik, he does kite back. Files are ready. Sending back the army. And from here, Erik, he just has no overwhelming force. And there's no holding onto this third. Third base goes down. Queens, they pull away. So you pull away. Ensuring there's no 4th base either. And Erik can just drone. From here, he can just back off. He can drone. He can saturate. He can take up into Hive, into Hydras, into Spire. Erik, he doesn't have to commit. He's trying to trade as best he can, trying to break out. I mean, he does have 5 immortals. That's a lot of immortals. And Erik, his answer here is not to go into Hydras, to go into a Spire. So he's going for the Spire, going for Mutas. Behind this, building up more Lings. Building up a greater army. Start amassing. Erik rotating over. Collapsing on the army itself. Getting on top of the immortals. Oh my god. Yeah, 3, 4, 5 immortals going down. The immortal count being reset, and there's just no overwhelming force here. GG gets called, and Erik, he will take a 2-0 lead. Whew, GG. And again, Shakti, he was looking quite powerful when it came to his move outs. Remember, he was 3 base all in. He had like, what, I want to say 9, maybe 10 gates behind it. He had the Immortals, the Archons, the charge lots. He was pushing forward. And that was a tough hold for Erik, but he was able to pull it off. He pulled the boys, did lose a lot of drones in the process, but he was able to survive the all in. And again, that's what happens when an all-in fails. From there, Shakti kind of fell apart. He had no economy behind it. He had no further tech. He had no setup to go into Colossus or Disruptors or Storm or anything else. Like, he was just stuck on that more lower tech army and didn't really have the economy to sustain those losses. GG. GG, well played. With that, Erik takes a 2-0 lead. And do we get another 3-0 here? I'm hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping for more between these players, but the pressure is now on Shakti. And again, like, he had a good showing and he had a good shot in that last game. He was definitely, Erik, I should say, was definitely feeling the pressure, but wasn't enough. Was not enough. From here, we're now getting into Game 3. Game 3 is going to be in Incorporeal, one of the largest maps in the map pool. I believe second largest only to Maganatha, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see how our players do adjust as we're stepping in to Game 3. Best of 5? Yes. Best of 5. Best of 5. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the the Brazilian Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing the CranKy Ducklings, leading the series 2-0. One game away from claiming the series, it is Erik. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing CBSC Gaming, it is Shakti. Ooh, hello. As Erik does move out with an early drone, this time early spawning pool as well. So we have a pool first opener out of Erik. He does fan out with that early worker, does make his way towards the natural, and is looking for another hatch block. So a more aggressive start here from Erik. Now the last time we saw a hatch block, Erik did go for a delayed spawning pool, but this time it's pool first. There it is, hatch block here at the wall. I say pool first, this might have been a 12 pool as well. But here we go, Lings are on the way. The hatchery is designed to disrupt the wall. So the wall is disrupted. Lings are in production. Now this does force a 2-gate response. So a second gateway is on the way for Shakti. This means if this doesn't do damage, if Shakti holds well enough, then he can counterattack with a good amount of Zealots, a good amount of Adepts as well. There he does expand back at home. Lings are moving out. The first Zealot does Chrono out in time. The second Zealot's on the way. And we'll see if Erik lets this hatchery finish. We'll see if he lets it complete. As Erik, he does move out, nibbling away at the wall, and you can see how awkward it is for that. Oh, the surround! That should not have happened. Does get us around. First Zealot is gonna fall. Oh, I say that barely gets away. Oh no, the drones? Drones. I believe that's a miss rally. don't think they're supposed to be here. Erik, calm down. I mean, I guess he may as well make use of them since they're here. There we go. Spines are on the way. Behind this, Erik, he's not droning. He's setting up his spines. We'll see if we can get them up and running. Oh, no, it's around. Not again. Second Zell gets surrounded. Oh, brutal losses here for Shakti. And these spines are going to finish. Yeah, they're going to finish. The queen has arrived. Another queen is on the way. Boys are being pulled. And the spine rush. It is the delayed spine rush. I will say that. But it's working. The spine rush is working. The probes, it looks like they will deny one spine caller, but the other will complete. Another Stalker's on the other. Oh, the Stalker's on the wrong side. Another surround, and that's game. GG gets called. Ay. Unfortunate movement there for Shakti. He got his Zealot surrounded, he got his second Zealot surrounded, and he got his Stalker surrounded as well. Oof, brutal losses there. And with that, Erik will claim the series 3-0. GG. GG, well played. Erik, he was not droning behind it, he was just flooding slow Lings across the map, and again he was just able to catch Shakti with his pants down time and time again and got the surround on those initial units. Behind it, Shakti, he didn't take it seriously enough. I wasn't initially either. What I mean by that, if you believe your opponent is all inning, if Shakti did see the early pool, the 12 pool opener, I can't quite recall if he did. I know that he blocked the natural. I don't know if he got into the main. A more secure response against an aggressive build like that is a forge. So you go gate into forge, and the reason for that is because that early on in the game you have really limited production available to you. As again, you can make 2 units at a time, so you can help supplement that with cannons, right? So a forge defense is much more secure, lets you get cannons up and running to be able to support your gateway on, right? Your handful of gateway units. But there was no forge because I believe Shakti just assumed it was going to be a little bit more standard, that Erik was going to transition out of it. Did not transition out. Erik, he committed. GG, well played. With that, Erik, he will claim the series, and with that, we're now getting into our next game. What if the hatchery finish was reactions around the zealot? It might be, because I know Erik is really flexible. I know he's really flexible when it comes to just canceling the hatchery and just droning. But I'm sure he saw an opening and he just committed, just went for it. Here we go. 3 rounds. Surprised he finished the hatchery. Yeah. I think it was like a reaction just because of the first round. That would make the most sense. Would it make the most sense? But now we're getting ready here for our next series. We're getting ready for our next matchup. I believe it is going to be... we're getting ready for MasTeR versus... is it MasTeR versus Shakti? No, sure. It's going to be Shakti versus Yan. That's it. Un momento. As I set that up. It's so up next is going to be some best of 3. So we have 2 series left here. So Erik does advance on to the upper bracket finals to face off against INexorable. Meanwhile, Shakti and MasTeR are knocked down. They're not out of the tournament. But they are knocked down to the lower brackets to face off against some players that we featured earlier. Let's go. So up next is going to be MasTeR versus Kamikaze. So it's going to be MasTeR versus Kamikaze, followed by Shakti versus Yan. That's going to be a spicy one. I mean, if you recall, I was praising Yan earlier, saying like he was a really strong player, but he got unlucky when it comes to the groups. So he got a really poor seed. But he has potential to make it far. We're getting there. But for now, it's going to be MasTeR versus Kamikaze. This is a lower bracket round. This is an elimination match. Elimination matches are ahead of us here. One of these 2 players is out of the tournament, either MasTeR or Kamikaze. Let's go. Again, MasTeR, he is the heavy favorite. He's the #1 seed of the tournament, but he was also the favorite player against INexorable, and he struggled. He did struggle against INexorable. We'll see how he compares to Kamikaze. Again, MasTeR should be the favorite player, but we'll see if Kamikaze learned anything from that INexorable series. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the #1 seed himself, the Brazilian Protoss player, the best Protoss in all of Brazil, arguably the best Protoss in all of Latino America. For Team Hellfire, it is MasTeR. We got there. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Eximius Gaming. It is Kamikaze. Here we go. As we got MasTeR coming into this, is going to be the favorite player. But we have seen Kamikaze take maps off of MasTeR before. And again, it all comes down to this. Can he cause the upset? Double gas open out of Kamikaze, going for a faster factory. This is his go-to in this matchup, I will say, is double gas openers. Kamikaze does fully wall off, does keep MasTeR hidden in the dark. And again, we'll see if he is inspired by INexorable. He's like, yo, these 2 base all-ins, these 2 base plays, I like what I see. See if he goes for it. We'll see if he does go for it. And again, so now once we wrap up those upper bracket matches, this does mean that INexorable and Erik, they confirmed for the offline finals. Let's go. So Erik and INexorable, they're going to be going into that offline event. They're going to be featured at the venue in Sao Paulo. So I know a lot of Brazilian fans, a lot of Brazilian viewers have already booked their flights or booked their tickets and are going to be heading over to take part and to be a part of that big offline event. Erik and INexorable, they're going to be there. And in a way, this is a qualifying match. In a way, the winner of this series will also be there as well. It's going to be top 4. Top 4 will be a part of the offline event. the winner of Kamikaze and MasTeR, and also the winner of Yan and Shakti. So who's going to be there? And of course, shout out to the Brazilian community because they have crowdfunded not just the prize money, but they crowdfunded resources to actually help pay for travel for the players. I mean, some people might not be aware, but Brazil is a pretty big country. Like, Brazil is huge, and depending on where you are in Brazil, it's quite a journey to travel from one end of the country to the other. So I know that like train costs or like travel costs and accommodation are definitely like something that players have to be concerned about. But again, the community did crowdfund to make sure that the players are accounted for. As Kamikaze does bust out, so takes down the initial adept. Behind this, one base all in. But behind this, there is no CC. There is no command center. 1-1-1, one base all in at a Kamikaze. He can pull the boys with this. It's all or nothing. He's like, you know what? INexorable is looking good with the 2 base all ins. I'm gonna go for the 1 base all in. Let's go. And here we go. The boys are, I believe, being pulled as we speak. They're behind the tank. Yeah, here they come. The boys are being pulled. It's all or nothing for Kamikaze. Either he breaks MasTeR or he dies trying. Is he to cheese him out? Let's go. Erik can use the Ducklings' private helicopter. Oh no. There is no helicopter. It's Yaku making helicopter sounds. That's all it is. Oh no. But here we go. Kamikaze does break out. Oh. Oh no! That was not the time! No, who is it? MasTeR! Ah! As hopefully everything's okay. As Yolin is coming in, I believe that is a second tank in the medic. Sorry, in the medevac. Likewise, we're rallying across the map with Vikings. And MasTeR, he does not have a shield battery, by the way. He has a shield battery in production. He has blink in production as well. This is gonna be a tough hold for MasTeR. And hopefully everything's okay and we can recover.
Game paused.
Yeah. So hopefully everything's okay. MasTeR is asking for a bit of a pause. But we got him, we got him. Okay. We're counting in. We're counting back in. Right, here we go. Okay, does drop in. Hunting down those stalkers. Second tank has arrived. But okay, he has 1 shield battery ready. He has 2nd shield battery on the way. Boys are being pulled. And MasTeR, can he hold on? The probes are falling down, but he does take down the first tank. First tank does fall. And can he get the second? Oh no, the stalkers are getting shut down, and Kamikaze breaks through the stalkers, fighting out of range of the shield battery. And Kamikaze, I think he's done it. I think he's done it. Let's go, the upset. The upset, GG gets called, and Kamikaze, he breaks MasTeR. He pulls off the 1 base all in, and Kamikaze takes a 1-0 lead. Whew, okay. Ay. It was almost like MasTeR's internet tried to save him. MasTeR is like, he was like, oh my god, and he said, just disconnected. But we got back into it in the end. MasTeR was caught with his pants down. Likewise, a rough fight out of range of the shield batteries as well. His goal there was to focus on the tanks. He got 1, did not get the other. Did not get the 2nd tank, and with that 2nd tank completing, surviving, that was game then and there. Did everyone, did reset the stalker count. GG. And with that, Kamikaze does take the first game. Whew, here we go. Here we go. And now we're getting into game 2. Going to be loading into ley lines. Going to be loading into ley lines here. And Kamikaze, can he actually cheese MasTeR? MasTeR is the #1 seed of the tournament, by the way. MasTeR, he's the best Protoss in Brazil. Arguably the best Protoss in Latino America. Like, MasTeR, he is deserving to be a part of the offline event. But Kamikaze, mate, he might just do it. Oh no. Not like this, papi. Not like this. Can he cheese the favorite out of the tournament? Remember, this is a best of 3. 1 more game. Uno más. That's all he needs. 1 more game. Let's go. Pretty sure I saw a finished shield batteries down there. Yeah, there was one. There was one finished shield battery. The other was still on the way. But here we go. We're getting into game number 2 here, and potentially the final game of the series. I mean, I'm expecting the ace match. I'm favoring our Protoss here, but only if he can get into the mid game. If he can get into the game, then he's going to be fine. But here he is, the Brazilian Protoss player for Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. He's just here to play some StarCraft. It's like, get me into a 2-base economy. And spawning in the right-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the blue Terran representing Eximius Gaming. It is a CranKy, leading the series 1-0. I don't know if you saw the stats, the head-to-head stats here, but CranKy, he has like a 6% win rate against MasTeR, by the way. It's less than, there it is, you can see 6.67%. like MasTeR is the heavy favorite here, 93.33%. It's crazy, but CranKy, he's here to knock him out. Get him, papi, get him. Hey, you know what, 6%, that's not zero. That's not zero. We're here to raise up the stats. Let's go. No, this is like an XCOM, like 99% like hit rates, and then you miss. it happens. It happens. Cab. Here we go. As once again, double gas opener at a CranKy, and going for his factory. No shot, we 1-base all in again. No shot. This should be just racks into factory into CC. This should just be into a command center, but you don't want to cow CranKy out. I'll be honest, I don't like safety shield battery, by the way. Immediately safety shield battery out of MasTeR. He's having none of it. Not this time. Now, I don't like the idea of going for a 1-base all-in 2 games in a row. There we go. CC on the high ground. CranKy is expanding. He's not going for a 1-base all-in, but we cannot rule out the possibility of a 2-base all-in. Remember, double gas means faster factory. This also means faster starport. There we go. Starport's on the way. Tech lab as well. This looks like the build that INexorable went for himself. This looks like Cyclone into tank drop. We'll see if a Cyclone is made with the first tech lab. Show us what you got. Tech lab is on. Yep, Cyclone's on the way. Medevac as well. That's for the Starport as well. That's going to be for the Medevac, and this can lead into a Cyclone, into a tank, into the early tank drop. This is how I believe this is the same build that INexorable went for on Pylon against MasTeR in Game 3. Assuming we go for the tank after the Cyclone. I'm making that assumption. Ooh, Stargate opener. That's risky. Stargate opener out of MasTeR going for a Phoenix. Now, Stargate openers do mean that you'll... Yeah, tank. Yeah, he's going for the build. This is the same build that... This is how INexorable won the series against MasTeR earlier, by the way. Stargate openers are brutal. One, because that means you have less gateways, you have less warp-ins early on. The Phoenix, it's designed to harass, designed to deny drop play. It's not designed to defend against 1-base all-ins. The Phoenix moves out. The Cyclone's in position. No shot. The lock on. Oh my god. Okay, does notice. Whew. Does notice in time. Does pull away. But this is going to be a tough hold. This is going to be a tough hold for MasTeR. As here comes the Viking after the Medevac. Here comes the tank. It's all or nothing for CranKy. He's moving out. He's pushing. Again, Cyclone, Viking, tank, Medevac, Marines. Now, if he can get the tank within range of the pylon, he can end the game. Jesus. Phoenixes, they do threaten. Now, the Phoenixes, they can lift the tank, that is true, but there's so much anti-air here to protect the tank. That's what the Cyclone is for. That's what the Viking is for. To protect that tank. Here we go. Second shield batteries on the way. Immortal's almost halfway done. Oh, he doesn't like what he sees. CranKy pulls back for now, waiting for reinforcements, waiting for his Viking. The longer this goes on, the better it is for MasTeR. Look, MasTeR, he's up 20 workers. MasTeR, he is miles ahead economically. Like, this is basically a 2-base all-in. Sorry, 1-base all-in, I meant to say, for CranKy. Like, there is zero saturation that is natural. And he's not committing. I mean, again, MasTeR, he's on 2 shield batteries. The first immortal has arrived. MasTeR, he's fine. He's holding. He pulls it off. Whew, okay. that was a tense early game. It was a very, very tense early game. I mean, Kamikaze still has a massive army, that is true. But as he mentioned, like, there we go. He does catch reinforcements. Nice catch here on the Cyclone. And again, the longer this goes on, the better it is for MasTeR. He just needs more time. I really hope he gets to play some StarCraft. I mean, MasTeR, he's gaming. He's got a Colossus on the way and a third base. The boys are being pulled. Let's go. The boys are being pulled. It's all or nothing. Kamikaze, he's here to end it one way or another. Either he kills MasTeR or he dies trying. Again, it was a fake natural, a fake CC. The boys are here. That first Colossus halfway done. Now moving in. Ooh, no force field. Did have the hallucination instead. Vikings, they zone away the Phoenixes. Tanks, they siege up a little bit far back though. Not within range of the pylon. And the Colossus will pop out. And can Kamikaze break the Colossus? That I'm not so sure about. He's moving in. And Colossus does arrive. Tanks, they siege up in time. The boys are being pulled. Does lift. Does lift only for a moment though. Yeah, the Phoenixes, they go down one after the other. The Colossus falls. Land the Vikings! Land the Vikings! I'll kill the Colossus. He's so close. Kamikaze, has he done it? He lands the Vikings. He breaks through. There's no Colossus. There's no boys. There's 2 immortals left. Oh my god, he's so close. He gets 1, gets 2. No, he's done it. He's done it. No shot. 6% win rate. He's won 6% of the time. But you know what? That's more than 0. GG and Kamikaze cheeses MasTeR out of the tournament. He's crazy. Oh my god. That's insane. That's an upset, mate. That's a massive upset. MasTeR, he was favored to win the entire tournament, by the way. He was favored to go far and win the entire thing. But Kamikaze with 2 one-base all-ins back to back. Who needs an expansion, Papi? Who needs to take a natural? Just 1 base all-in over and over again. GG, well played. MasTeR, he was even playing it kind of safe. I say kind of safe. As I mentioned in the lead up to game number 2 specifically, Stargate openers are not built to defend against all-ins like that. Stargate openers are built for the mid game. They're built to give you map control, to harass mineral lines, to harass the economy, to deny drop play, and to, again, gain map control coming into a 2 and 3 base economy. That's where Phoenix openers can thrive. Phoenix openers struggle against all-ins, against these 1 base all-ins and 2 base all-ins. That's not what that's really just hurting MasTeR when it comes to that defense. I mean, again, we saw that he lifted up the tanks and they just died immediately. Like the Phoenixes, they just died instantly to the Vikings and to the Marines and to the Cyclones. Like the Phoenixes, they didn't really have a part there. They maybe denied 1 tank volley, if that. And with that, he had that much less to defend, of course. He had that much less to defend. GG, well played. It was also really brutal that he went for the hallucination. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but remember, just before the all-in hits, MasTeR, he went for a hallucination scout, which means he didn't have any force fields. He didn't have any force fields. That also, I should say, he didn't have extra force fields that he could have had. So that could have also slowed down the push and bought a little bit more time. There are a couple of little things here and there that did go awry. On top of that, MasTeR was taking a third. If you remember, he was expanding, getting a third base. He believed it was going to be a longer game, so he took an expansion when it was a 1 base all-in. So like there are these little details here and there that did hurt him coming into that defense, and whether it was the hallucination, whether it was the third nexus, whether it was the Phoenixes. So it was a really rough setup there. And yeah, I can see Shakti and Yan, they're freaking out a little bit there. But GG well played. Kamikaze, he will be a part of the offline event. He takes down MasTeR, cheeses them the hell out. And here we go, we're getting into our final series of the broadcast, Yan versus Shakti. Kamikaze, why do they have all these gas and minerals outside of your starting bases? Everything you need is at home. True. 1 base is all you need, man. It's all you need. MasTeR killed 1 tank like, yeah, for sure. He wasn't able to get on top of them. GG. And with that, we have one final best of three. One final best of three here. And this could go either way, to be honest. Like, and after what just happened, anything is possible. But right now, Yen and Shakti, they're having a big conversation. They're like, mate, what the hell? MasTer's out of the tournament. Like, they're freaking out. Oh my god. They're like, he got memed out. Memed out of the tournament. Shakti is saying you don't need more than 28 workers. Oh no. They're both smoking. Which again, it makes sense. Like MasTer, he's meant to be the one, pappy. Not for this tournament, not anymore. He's out. And here we go. We're getting into our final best of three. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha. Oh, sorry, in the top left hand corner of Maganatha, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Hellfire. Good friends with MasTer, actually. They are good friends. They are teammates. They did kind of rise up together. But now, you know, he's on his own, Pat. He's on his own. It is Yan. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the blue Protoss for Eximius Gaming. It is Shakti. Was this money laundering or something? No, not at all. Not at all. What do you not at all. Mate, again, you win 6% of the time, mate. You just have to win that 6%. You know, just go for it. that's all you need. Just lock in, pappy. Just lock in. But I do want to believe that maybe Kamikaze he was inspired by INexorable. If you remember INexorable, he went for a lot of 2-base play, and he's like, you know what, INexorable, you look pretty good on 2 bases. I'm gonna do you one better. But I would agree, like, I'm assuming that you're making a joke with that, but I would hope by no means you are serious in insinuating any kind of foul play when it comes to the players themselves. MasTer playing his heart out. But you know, Kamikaze, he's a threat to anyone. He'll take himself down to bring you down. Kamikaze. But here we go. We're now getting into our next game. Into our next series. Now, Maganatha is a map that we actually haven't casted here tonight. We actually have not featured this map at all. This is the largest map in the map where you do not get bigger than Maganatha. Not at all. Here we go. Yo, yo, speaking of Kamikaze. Ay, ay, ay. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos. Not like this. Now, fun fact, this is a different Kamikaze. I should bear that in mind. But hello, Kamikaze, hello. Kamikaze in the chat is not the Brazilian Kamikaze. But yes, we just saw your Brazilian brother win, man. We just saw him win. No. TG Kamikaze in the chat. He's from Taiwan. Taiwanese Kamikaze. They're different. It's like hero and hero. We have Kamikaze and Kamikaze. Yeah, from Taiwan. Which we have casted on this channel before. For now, though, we're going to be settling. Sorry, a little bit distracted. We're going to be calming down. Going to be settling in. Stargate open out of Shakti. Now, what I will say, if you recall, we spoke about some of the weaknesses and some of the downsides. God damn it. Some of the downsides of a Stargate opener in this matchup. But on a larger map like this, they can pop off. Meanwhile, we do see Yen going for the proxy starport. Oh my god, we're just looking at their POVs. But proxy starport out of Yen, going for the Hellion drop into the main base. And the Phoenixes, they can zone away the Hellions, but they can't really deal with them. Hellions are dropping in. Yeah, 4 Hellions into the main. They're going for the mineral line. They're looking to roast up some probes. And they can one-shot. Nice lift on the Hellions. Adept Shade in, and the Hellions are going to be cleaned up. Whew. Oh no! Oh no! The shots! They're lighting up! Oh my god! 8 pros go down, 9 workers go down. 10 towards the end. Nice damage here from Yen. Initially, this should not have dealt much damage, but in the end, 10 worker kills, not bad. It does deal a decent amount of economic damage. Bearing in mind, Hellions do not scale well into a longer game. And now it's on Shakti to reciprocate. Now Shakti has gained map control, he's moving out, he can try to hunt down some SCVs. But there is a Cyclone in production. And we can see Shakti going Phoenix into Colossus. This might not just be Phoenix Colossus, by the way. I could be mistaken. Did Warpgate finish? I think it did. I think Warpgate did complete. But Shakti, he's known for a certain style. If you've been watching Shakti over the past couple of years, you would know that he is known for this quote-unquote nanomech style of Mass Immortal, or sorry, of Mass Robo and Mass Stargate. Do you see what I see? I see an incredibly fast second Robo. Second Robo is on the way, getting 3 SCV kills. I say, does he have Warpgate? Because I believe he does. I believe he does have Warpgate. But he often skips Warpgate in favor of a fast second, third, and fourth Robo, and a fast second Stargate. For just pure Robo Stargate production. No blink, no charge, no glaives, no nothing. It's like a mech style of PvT. Here we go. As you can see, just purely Colossus, purely Phoenixes. This leads into purely Immortal. So far, only 2 Robos, but we expect more than 2. We expect a third, a fourth, a fifth Robo. We'll keep an eye on Shakti. And then this leads into Colossus Immortal Skytoss. Eventually. And again, this style can be punished on smaller maps, but remember, we're loading into Maganatha, the largest map in the map pool. The rush distance by ground is huge. It's long. And Shakti can try to get away with this. Shakti is saturating. He's making 2 Colossus at a time. Once he's up to 3 Colossus, we should be seeing Immortals. Yen, he does move out here and now. Can Yen break Shakti before he hits critical mass? Because if you leave Shakti alone, his army is going to get crazy. So here we go. As he's getting up to 5 Colossus. 5 Colossus building up. I would like to see some Immortal sprinkled in, but sure. As we do see Yen going for a drop at the same time. Phoenixes, they will intercept. Yeah, they're in position. Full Medevac is going to go down. Massive pickup. Gets one. Gets one Medevac. It does deny any kind of drop play. There it is. Immortal production has begun. Shakti's up to 5 Colossus plus 1 air attack. Getting into his Immortal. And once it's on 3-way saturation, show us what you got. Show us that. Show us more Robos. There we go. 4 true upgrades. As we do see Yen rotating over. Shakti, he's banking a lot of resources. I did mention that we're waiting for extra Robos because he needs more production here. There we go. Fleet beacons on the way first. Going for the fleet beacon. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Megawack in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. And welcome to the end of the broadcast. This is our final series of the broadcast. We had some crazy upsets already here in this tournament. I do recommend the VODs. It was insane what happened. So still building up. Hello. Hello, Shap in the chat as well. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? There we go. Second Stargate's on the way. And again, what is the army? The army for Shakti is purely Phoenix, Immortal, Colossus. That's all it is. And 3 adepts from the start of the game. It's a pretty hefty army. We have annual pulse crystals on the way. So far, still committing to the Phoenixes. From here, should then lead into Tempest and lead into Carriers. Shakti's production is really hurting him, though. You can see he's banking up a lot of resources. He needs another robo. He needs something. Carrier production has begun. Making 2 carries at a time. His 4th base is late. Army sims in. Denies the 4th. Not bad. Denying the 4th base is nice, but what's scary here is that the army is still amassing. Like, we're still embracing the Sky Toss. There we go. We have the 3rd Stargate on the way. Shakti is cutting corners quite heavily here. And if Yen isn't too careful, he's just going to fall behind. Takes off 1, 2 tanks. Oh. Like by Shakti overextending. It's a lot of Vikings. Shakti has to respect it. Does have to respect the Vikings. Doom drop towards the left-hand side. Building up more Immortals, building up more Carriers. Always pleasure to meet. Thank you, man. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Speaking of, I hope you all enjoyed your, depending on when your country celebrates it, Mother's Day. I know the Mother's Day was on Sunday over the weekend, so I hope you all spend some time with the families. That's actually why this tournament was a little bit later today. So some of the Brazilian players can spend time with their families as well. You know, there it is. 2 more robos getting up to quadruple robo production and Mass Disruptor. So we got Mass Disruptor here to support. We got Carrier on the way as well. And Shakti, he's maxing out with an insane army. Again, there's no waste here. He may as well kill his own adepts. He has, I think he still has those 3 adepts unless they were already killed. But he's got 5 Colossus, got Immortals, the Sky Toss. You could argue that he could bleed off a couple of Phoenixes to make more Carrier. Or to make Tempest. Tempest would be better, to be honest. Like, Carriers don't really scale amazingly into a hyper late game. Now that we're building up. Are building up. No sentry, mate. There's only 1 gateway. I should emphasize this. Like Shakti, he's working with 1 gate. Like he's not gonna work. He's not gonna warp in sentries. It's not gonna happen. But here we go. Does commit in, and Nova. The disruptors go down. Yeah, Nova's gonna connect. Miss-targeting there from the Colossus. But despite that, Shakti, he will still take the fight. He still overwhelms. Marines, they bust into the mineral line. Probe's gonna be falling. But Shakti still maintains a massive army. As he takes down the base, takes down the expansion. From here, pulls away. Carrier bad late game TVT. They're okay mid to late game, but from there, as the Viking count gets higher, you do want your own Tempest instead. Like against mass Viking, like Carriers, they don't really do anything. They're not built for that. They're fine against a ground-based army, against like bio tank. But Shakti took the fight. We do see Yan plummet in supply, and now we can keep going. Shakti does have momentum. What do we have? We have 8 Carriers, we have 7 Immortals, 2 Disruptors, and 4 Colossus. You can see that the Phoenix count has gotten lower, and there are only 12 Vikings. Like, that's not enough. Against this kind of army, you do need like up to 24 Vikings. And now we see 2 starports on the way. So Yan, he now realizes what he needs, but it's too late. He has 2 starports on the way, but he doesn't have the production to actually build up a Viking count. He just doesn't have enough. Disruptor goes down. Colossus are left behind. A bit of an awkward engage here from Shakti, but he does break through. That breaks through the main army, and Shakti, he should not slow down here. Takes out the Marines, and now there's no support. There's no more support. As we mentioned, not enough Vikings. GG gets called, and Shakti takes game number 1. Whew, GG. Again, towards the end, Yan later realized what he needed, but as we mentioned, towards that final fight, Yan had 2 more starports on the way. He was working with 1 starport the entire time, only making 2 Vikings at a time. He could not keep up with that kind of army. He was a little bit too passive, and again, it looks like Yan didn't realize what was happening, just how much greed Shakti was getting away with. Remember, he only had 1 gateway. He had 1 gateway that entire game. He was rushing into Robo and Stargate production instead. As you mentioned, this is like a quote-unquote Protoss mech style. It's like a nano mech style of PvT where you just don't get a second gateway. You just go mass Colossus Immortal, and it's easy to get away with this on larger maps. On smaller maps, it's almost impossible. Smaller maps, it's difficult. But here we go. Maybe we need some store. No, there's only 1 gate, only 1 gateway. So you can't like reinforce with High Templar or with anything like that. 1 gate. He doesn't have warp gate. You skip warp gate. You skip warp gate. You stay on 1 vanilla gateway. Just go mass Robo, mass Stargate. Here we go. We're getting into game number 2. As Shakti does take a lead in the series. Oh, wait. Oh my. For the first time tonight, we're loading into Last Fantasy. Let's go. We're loading into Last Fantasy. We're crazy. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Last Fantasy, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran. Oh, never mind. Who are we interesting for? Where are we going? Who are we introducing? What's going on? There we go. In the left, we have a Team Hellfire down in this. Oh, never mind. I don't even know anymore. We have Yan, the Brazilian Terran. There we go. Ice Guy, he was just so excited. He was so excited about Last Fantasy. So excited. In the bottom right hand corner, we have the Brazilian Protoss player representing Zimmy's Gaming. It is Shakti. Let's go. And again, of course, Last Fantasy is a 3-player spawn map. You can spawn in bottom left, bottom right, or the top side. So there is that RNG factor here coming into Last Fantasy. As we have Yan opening up double gas. I can't pay. Look, sometimes Icegar, we spawn in on 1 play and then we go to the other. It happens. It's keeping me on my toes, man. Yeah. As Icegar is showing off. I mean, again, this is the first time we're seeing Last Fantasy. I think all tournaments. So Icegar, he's enjoying the scenery. We have the speed zones in the center, of course. That does assist when it comes to scouting. It does make it faster to scout your opponents if you make use of the speed zones. Shakti just scouts the center of the map looking for proxies. So look what's going on. Likewise, Yan does scout the top side first. He will find that it is empty. We'll find an empty expansion. And this does come across Shakti. Now, again, is aware where he is. Does eventually find him. And we have our take of choice going for a Twilight Counter. No, Shakti, no, he doesn't. He misses. The hallucination doesn't rally incorrectly. Shakti's still looking. Behind this, we see Yan going for his own Mind Drop opener. For Winter Mines, Starport into Medevac, into drop play. Meanwhile, Blink out of Shakti, not Phoenix, not Stargate, not this time. I mentioned before that that build that Shakti went for in the previous game, like rushing into like a really high-tech army, is best done on these larger maps. On a smaller map like Last Fantasy, you don't want to risk it. You don't want to risk it. It is easier for the opponent to punish you, for the Terran to punish you. Yen does move out with his drop. Shakti building up his stalkers. Does move out. Does move out, gets heights on the third base. Can try to force a cancel. It's going to be close. Stalkers are moving in. Yeah, trying to bait the army into the wind mine. Oh! Does turn away. Blink is done in 10 seconds. Nice movement here at Yan. Very nice zoning. Can he force a cancel? It's going to be close. Oh, he goes around. Blink is done. Yeah, nice dodge. And with that, Shakti holds. Whew. Shakti does hold on. Yen just being so annoying here. Being as annoying as possible. We have Cloak Banshee as a follow-up. Cloak is almost done. Banshee into the main. Shield battery's ready. And the Banshee won't achieve too much. The Robo is still in production, so 0 detection for Shakti. Doesn't have detection. And 2 Banshees, they can one-shot probes. As they do join forces. Yeah, and looks like he wants that third. Does move that across the map. He does rotate over, takes down the pylon. Shakti out of position. The base is low from earlier. Uh-oh, he can go for it. He can and he will. Yeah, the Nexus does go down. Massive pickup. Shakti stuck on 1 base. Sorry, stuck on 2 bases. Cloak gets activated. Shakti gonna be forced back. He's forced throws back. A lot of stalkers go down as well. Brutal pickups. And he's pinned against the wall. Charge is finishing, but where's the army? Where are the charge lots? They're not here. They're not ready. Shakti taking up into Colossus, taking up into the bay, but does not have enough. From here, Yan just wreaking havoc. He's getting his own 3rd CC behind this, working towards Stim. Combat Shields +1. Remember, this is all with vanilla Marines. All pre-Stim. Takes out the Observer. Observer goes down as well. Now, Banshees, they can just one-shot. Yeah, they can just one-shot these probes. The shield battery does nothing. Observer comes in. Have a backup observer. And finally, Shakti, he's going to defend. He's going to clean this up, but at a cost. At a cost of so much, and he just rallies in. He just rallies across the map. He's so close to breaking at Shakti. Just needs a little bit more. Now pulling away. Building up his army. Is building up. Does pull away. Shakti, he holds for now, and Yen just has to calm down, saturate his 3rd base, and build up towards a longer game state. Oh my god, they're so fast. Stims through the speed zones. Chasing Shakti down. At least trying to. Shakti now working on his Colossus. But again, Yin just has to just calm down, saturate his third base, build up his army, maintain that lead. Shakti did preserve his worker count, which is quite impressive here. He may have lost his base, but he did save his probes. So his economy is actually quite comparable with that of his opponent. As he does resaturate his third. It's getting back up and running. Gets a little bit of trades here for Yan. Does spread well. He wants that Colossus. He sims in. And he's going for the dive. And he will get it. The Colossus goes down. No shield battery. No defensive setup. GG gets called. And Yan ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. We are going to game 3 again. Just a strong start for Yan. To be able to break the third base so fast and so quickly was brutal, and a lot of that came down to the early Marine drop. Remember, getting it down to half HP early on did mean that it was that much easier for the tank push to break the expansion. And once the third base went down, that was almost game then and there. Like, it was just a really rough position for Shakti. He could not quite keep up or recover from that. He tried to, don't get me wrong, and again, he preserved his probes, but there's only so much he could do there when he was stuck on 2 bases for that long. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into game number 3, the ace match, the final game of the series of the broadcast. Oh boy, we're here to determine who is the final player to make it to the offline event. Again, who do we have? We have Erik, we have INexorable, we have Kamikaze, and we have one of these 2 players, either Yan or Shakti, either another Terran or another Protoss, or a Protoss. True. Good, in my mind, I'm still thinking, oh yeah, MasTer's gonna be there. No. He was meant to be a sure thing, but is out. And here we go, we're loading into that ace match, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Hellfire. It is Yan. At least it will be. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the Eximius Gaming player from Brazil. It is Shakti. Here we go. And again, for those that are curious, the offline event is happening in June. It is happening next month. So there's going to be plenty of time for players to prepare for the event and to prepare for their opponents. As we have a double gas opener out of Yan. Yeah, my attention. Does open up double gas into a faster factory. We see Shakti is scouting for proxies, does check the third base location first before expanding. Making sure he's safe and sound. Settling in. Again, from here, we should be seeing Yan expand and get a CC. Technically, he can go for a starport into all base all in. He might have seen Kamikaze's games. He might be inspired as well from what Kamikaze was up to, but for the most part, we should be expanding. Should be looking to expand. Yeah, you can see he pulls out of gas. He's banking up those resources for the CC. There we go, command center's on the way. Now from here we can go into an early mine drop, we can go for early cyclone drop as well. We'll keep an eye on the add-ons here on the factory as a starport is in production. And it looks like a mine drop. Okay, mine drop early on. This can then lead into tank production. And lead into cyclones. So far, nothing crazy. Oh, as we have something a little bit more unique here, we do have a robo opener out of Shakti. Okay, you have my attention. This is a very safe way to open up. A robo opener does entail early immortal production, early observer production. Oh my, never mind. Going for a dark shrine. I did miss the Twilight Council, my apologies. The Twilight Council opening into robo into a dark shrine. This is very risky here from Shakti. A lot of it comes down to whether or not Yan scouts what's happening. He is moving out with his drop, and does he get into the main base? Does he get eyes on the tech on the dark shrine? Behind this, we do have a Banshee opener here from, or Banshee follow-up out of Yan. So 1-1-1, Widowmine drop into Banshee, into Cloak Banshee. Both players will need detection. Both players do need it. Drop comes in, making his way towards the mineral line, but doesn't quite get close enough, I don't think. And he saw the Twilight Council. I don't know if he saw the Dark Shrine, though. He may have been zoned away. Does pick up, does pull out. He gets 3 workers, not bad. But did he scout? He did. Whew. Now, the question becomes, did he click on the building, though? Because he saw the constructing building there for his opponent, but that could be a pylon. Technically, like that can be perceived as a pylon. So did Yan click on said building? Is he aware? I don't see an eBay. Okay, eBay. eBay's on the way. That's gonna be for turrets, and Yan should be holding him to scans. So this should be okay. Should be okay. Should be fine. As if there's a first scan, there's a Dark Templar further in the middle. Oh no! Prism gets turned away. But Dark Templar in the natural. SCV is going to be going down. Ice was looking for the Dark Templar as well. He's like, hold on. He's like, where are the swipes? 5 SCVs, not bad. Gets 5, forces out another scan. 6 SCV kills. Oh. Getting up to almost 7. But regardless, nice value here out of Shakti, getting 8 SCVs and a couple of Marines and a depot. At the same time, back at home, Banshees, they hit the natural. Sorker's in position. Oh god, this is getting out of hand. This is becoming far too much. 11 SCVs. The Raven does arrive. But that was a better trade here for Shakti. He's now 11 workers. Banshees into the main. So do go for the sentry, some decent pickoffs. 5 probe kills. We do get some counter damage. Shakti's moving out. Now there are 2 tanks on low ground. Yan, he is secure at his natural. But there might be an opening into the main. Shakti pokes in, he's forced back. Banshee hits the 3rd. Finds more damage. The game is slowing down. Shakti's on 3 bases. Yan trying to recover here. Again, took a lot of economic damage. Still on 44 SCVs. Ay. Still very low SCV count. It is expanding. He's not going for a 2-base all in. 3rd CC's on the way. But this is a really rough game state here for Yan. As Shakti is just getting into Colossus, into charge, +1, extend the lance. Shakti taking up. Does take up. Again, he breaks out. Does get some auto shots across the map. Not bad getting 5, getting 6 probes. Not bad at all. And he is pushing, but he's going to be pushing into 2 Colossus. It's not going to be easy. Ooh, Prism goes down. DT back into the main. And Shakti does miss the main army. Shakti out of position. Base goes down. Nice pickup. Takes down the 4th. Shakti rotating over. Up to 3 Colossus. Does have to pull away. Shakti back into the main. Likewise Banshee as well. We're getting a little bit scrappy here. On the one hand, Yen has been stuck on 2 bases for a long time, but he does at least deny the 4th. Shakti is double expanding. Double expanding. I do still favor Shakti's main army as well when it comes to a head-on fight. He's got 3 Colossus, has charge lots. His main army is still terrifying. As he forces Yen back. He does pull away. So this is when we throw down like 3 Stargates and throw down like and go back into that game 1 kind of composition. We're not really set up for it. That is a 2nd Robo on the way and a 4th Colossus in production as well, by the way. We're doubling down. Get all the Colossus. That's a 3rd Robo. Jesus. Getting into triple Robo production. From here, we should be working towards Disruptors or Immortals, though. 4 Colossus should be enough. Meanwhile, tanks, they get exposed. Yeah, 3 tanks go down. Massive pickoffs. Taking down the Vikings as well. 1 Viking left. Yeah, better pickoffs here from the Protoss. Takes down 3 tanks. There we go. Disruptor production has begun. Getting towards Disruptors. Likewise, Shakti's still pushing forward. I mean, again, he's got 4 Colossus. There's, what, 2 Vikings. The Colossus, they do reign supreme. 1 Colossus may barely go down. There's no more Vikings. Wait, they're just now coming in. 2 Vikings, they come in to reinforce, but there's still 4 Colossus. They just rain down on the bio. The bio melts. The lasers. There's too many lasers, Papi. Oh, my God. Breaks through the ground army. There's still 4 Colossus still standing strong. 1 Viking left. And Shakti, you just keep pushing. You just keep going. 2 Disruptors have arrived. GG gets called. Shakti just snowballs out of control. And Shakti, he will take the series 2-1. And Shakti will be the final player to qualify for the main event for the offline finals at Sao Paulo. GG. GG, well played. We have confirmation. We have 4 players in Sao Paulo. It's going to be Erik for Zerg. It's going to be Shakti for Protoss and INexorable and Kamikaze for Terran. For the most part, expected results, except for that Kamikaze series. Again, coming into this, we were expecting Erik, INexorable, Shakti, and MasTeR, but MasTeR, he will not be a part of those offline finals. Again, he's the best player in Brazil, or at least the number 1 seeded player in the Brazilian circuit. He's ranked number 1, but he will not be a part of that event. And now suddenly the hierarchy of the Brazilian scene is up in the air. Suddenly who will claim the win here? I mean, again, INexorable and Erik are going to be the heavy hitters, but, you know, Kamikaze and Shakti, they can still threaten them, and they can still cause these upsets as they already have here in this tournament. GG. GG, well played, best of luck. We can actually have a look together here at the overall standings and at the bracket, and have a look at what comes next. Oh. Un momento. Laser BBQ, yes. The laser barbecue, Poppy. Yeah. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is updated, and let us have a look here at our top players. Let's go. As we switch our scenes over, and you can see here we have Erik. Erik took down. Oh, actually, can we zoom in? There we go. Erik takes down Shakti 3-0. INexorable takes down MasTeR 3-0. And we have Erik versus INexorable in the upper bracket finals. Scrolling down, we had that crazy upset. Kamikaze 2-0 over MasTeR. And of course, Shakti takes down Yen 2-1. Was a much more closer back and forth between these two players. But here are our top four. These are our standings. This is our bracket here to determine who will be our champion. Oh boy, so Erik versus INexorable, Kamikaze versus Shakti, they all lead into each other. Of course, Erik and INexorable, they both have a life left, as they do have, as they're coming in from the upper bracket. So regardless of who wins and who loses, they will have another chance here in the lower bracket finals. And of course, again, these four players, they face off at the offline finals in June in Sao Paulo. Let's go, let's go. Do we have a date on that, actually? I want to say like June 10th or something, like sometime in June. So do look forward to that. Actually, I can check my calendar. Let's see. June the 22nd. There we go. That's what the weekend of the 21st and 22nd is going to be the offline event. I believe the 21st in most parts of the world and the 22nd here in Australia. So the 21st of June, it is the weekend before Home Story Cup. So it goes this event, then into Home Story Cup the next weekend. Oh boy. This is after Stars Agora. So a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft on the horizon. This is also the weekend after Cheesadelphia. Jesus, it's Stars Agora into Cheesadelphia, into the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit, into Home Story Cup. Every weekend has an offline event. Oh my god, every weekend in June. That's crazy. Oh, sorry, almost every weekend. No, yeah, every weekend. It's crazy. Aye. So non-stop StarCraft coming in June, and likewise here in May, we still have more StarCraft as well. We have Dallas. DreamHack Dallas is here in May, GSL Season 1 and GSL Season 2 as well. So a lot of content on the horizon, a lot of content to come. When it comes to our next broadcast here on the CranKy Ducklings, our next cast is going to be this evening. Our next cast is going to be the WarDTV Monday. That's going to be at 9 p.m. AEST. That's going to be in 8 hours time. 8 hours from this message, we're going to be live with some WarDTV Monday action. Let's go. INexorable. Which means we can actually get some sleep, Happy. We can actually get some rest. It's gonna be crazy. I'm probably gonna go get some breakfast. Gonna rest up. I have some work to catch up on in regards to editing VODs and scheduling VODs. More importantly, I'm falling behind when it comes to scheduling. I just haven't had the time. We've been casting so much over the weekend that I am falling slightly behind when it comes to that. Everything's still scheduled, but yeah, I have a little bit less leeway, a little bit less breathing room for that, so I have to get on that as quickly as possible. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. Do appreciate it. Again, we'll be back in 8 hours time, and hopefully we are well rested and we can get into some more StarCraft action. When it comes to the rest of the week, we have Pegasus Monday tonight. We have WarDTV Monday tonight. We have GSL cast tomorrow. We have the entire day tomorrow is going to be us covering the GSL day 1 of the group stage. Day 1 and day 2, that is going to be us tomorrow. We have the Pegasus Cup on Wednesday. The Pegasus Monday is no longer the Pegasus Monday, it's now the Pegasus Cup instead, as they have moved over to Tuesdays/Wednesdays. So that's going to be on Wednesday. We have the StarCraft Evolution League on Thursday. We have the Pongcast on Thursday. We have RSL, don't forget, the Revival StarCraft League. The qualifiers are this week as well. We are also going to be casting them on the channel. They're going to be on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 3 days straight of qualifiers for the Americas, for Korea, and for Europa as well. So we're going to be all over the qualifiers. Likewise, we have KSL this weekend. Jeez, we have KSL. We have the May Mayhem. We have Sparkling Tuna Cup. We have Fire Grow Cup as well. Let's go. It's just a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft, as always, here on the CranKy Ducklings. We are live every single day. If you want to support us, you can do so via following us on all the social medias. We do upload VODs on YouTube on a daily basis, so if you heard something that you like, but you can't watch it live, like the RSL qualifiers, or like KSL, or Sparkling Tuna Cup, or Water TV Monday, and if you can't watch it live, you want to watch the VODs, then YouTube is the place to be. Likewise, you can support us via Patreon. 100% of the money on Patreon goes towards our tournaments. It goes towards the players, so if you want to help support the players, and help us grow our tournaments, you can do so via Patreon. All done there, all done by Patreon. You can help us reach our next goal. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna go get some breakfast, get some work done, and get some sleep, pappy. Get some bed. Hi. It was a very intense weekend of StarCraft. But thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time for some more CranKy Duckling action, for some more StarCraft. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Until then, ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.